So the Leafs have fans of all descriptions here in attendance tonight. And the officials now have signaled the teams to prepare for the opening face-off. Last minute chatter in front of the goaltenders, and we're almost set to go. Time for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Official for tonight's game, the referee is Dave Newell, and he's out there at center now, being flanked by his two linesmen, John D'Amico and Ron Finn. There's Glenn Wedge, average 1.74 for the Maple Leafs. Mike Palmatier, 1.81, the two hottest goalkeepers in the playoffs to date. And we have Ryan Pache facing off at center ice with Daryl Sittler, Maloney, and Dave Williams, along with Trevor Johansson, Ian Turnbull, Pache, Nystrom, and Gillies, along with Lewis and Dennis Potvin. We're underway. And the puck is cleared back into Leaf territory. That's Ian Turnbull, turning it around on the boards for Maloney. Maloney let it go. Picked up by Turnbull to Maloney. The left wing at center, gets his shot, it's a bouncer, goes right to Resch, and he holds onto it for a faceoff.
Well, before the game tonight, Al Arbour, the Islander coach, seemed very calm and composed when I talked to him down in front of the Islander dressing room. He tasted champagne from the cup 4 times as a player. Now he'd like a little sip as a coach.
You might mention, since he played an integral part in the killing of penalties for the Islanders, Brian, that our good friend Eddie Westfall is not dressed tonight.
No, they'll miss him.
Daryl Sittler against Pache. The puck is dropped. Pache won the draw. Dennis Potvin in a Turnbull stick, and that was just off the target. Ryan Pache right on a Daryl Sittler stick, right in front of Eddie McDonald, and he couldn't get it over top of Glenn Resch.
Resch is down. A close call there as Maloney was knocked over. There's McDonald taking his check. That's the kind of game it's going to be. Force the Islanders to cough up the puck to Sittler. And Maloney, parked where he usually is, right outside the crease, is taken down to the ice.
Well, set for the faceoff. In the circle to the left, Glenn Resch. Maloney, number 9. Lanny McDonald, number 7. Sittler, 27. As it Dave Lewis. Trying to work his way out, gives it to Dennis Potvin. Potvin covered by Lanny McDonald. The puck goes right through Islanders. Head on. Harris and Pache. The loose puck. Maloney leaves it for Sittler. He drove it wide and up over the glass, but Harris and Pache hit together. They're both hurt.
McDonald took advantage of that play, racing in over the line after the two Islanders collided. There's Trottier trying to shake that one off. Here, it happened right here. What a collision at center ice. They were slow to get up from that one. Ryan Trottier still shaken up. He may have taken a rap right on the jaw from his teammate. Ron Waske, the capable trainer of the Islanders. Trottier behind the bench.
Harris out there with number 11, Wayne Merrick. On the forward line. Gary Hart, Dennis Cutban. Puck is back to Lenny. Lenny lets the man go. That's wide. Randy Carlisle kept it in. Williams jammed against the boards. The puck stolen by Stan Weir. A shot. Ellis gets the loose puck. Goes behind the net. Stan Weir trying to center it. And it goes to Harris. Harris and Merrick. To the leaf line. And up by Glennie. That's to Williams. Williams takes his shot. Right stop that. Dennis Potvin shot it but not out. Randy Carlisle cleared it into the corner. Jerry Hart up on the board. And that's going down the ice, but it won't be icing. Mike Palmatier. Into the corner. Gary Howitt. For Wayne Merrick. Hit by Ellis. Still has the puck go behind the net. Centered it out in front. And it's close to Stan Weir. Weir up at center. Shoots the puck in. And it ends up at the side of the net. Jerry Hart of the Islanders off the boards for Bill Harris. Harris at his own blue line. Up at center. Gets away from Jimmy Jones. A long shot. Palmatier threw that off to the side. Picked up by Trevor Johansson. Up the center range for Jimmy Jones. Jones misses the check. Lets it go high into the crowd. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Stanley Cup 78.
Hey there with that booming shot.
Roll with us.
Hey there making that big stop. Roll with us.
Scotiabank Hockey College, where kids get playing tips and news from the experts and learn the good things about saving right now. No membership fee. Just open a high-interest Scotiabank Hockey College savings account. Hockey College, only at Scotiabank.
Come to Scotiabank and go with us. Roll with us. Roll with us. Roll with us.
All set to go now for the face-off. No score in this first period, just underway as it's cleared by Trimble around behind the net. Islanders trying to get it out. Bob Bourne is hit by Darryl Sittler. And play is called. And we'll have a face-off in that circle again.
Bill, they're still concerned about the condition of number 19, Brian Trottier, who took a heavy hit from his teammate, Billy Harris, at center ice. We saw it a moment ago. He's still groggy. This would be a terrible loss to the Islanders if he was injured in the very first moments of play here in Game 6 at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Leafs have territorially had quite a margin of play, but they haven't been able to put it on the score sheet as yet. As we get set for this face-off in the Islanders zone. All ready to go. The puck is dropped. Maloney gets into the circle. The puck taken by Jerry Hart. Cleared it over to Nystrom. Nystrom going up with Bill Harris. The long shot ends up behind the net. Cleared by Johansson to Turnbull. Ian Turnbull back to the goal. Leafs trying to work it out. Trevor Johansson to Lanny McDonald. Trying to relay it for Maloney. Picked up by Bob Bourne. Bourne is checked. Sittler's got a chance with Turnbull. Throwing right in on goal. Right in goes Jimmy Jones. The Leafs open first. Sittler gets the break. And goes in with Turnbull. Used Turnbull as the decoy. Took one shot, got his own rebound. Made no mistake on that. 1-0 Leafs. And the crowd is standing. Look at this big shot as the Islanders back in. Here's the shot by Sittler. He gets the rebound. Turnbull might have had it if Sittler hadn't put it in. Oh boy, I said they came in all sizes and descriptions tonight. I wasn't kidding. Sittler starts it off for the Leafs. His third goal at 2:49.
Ian Turnbull. Time 2:49. Darryl Sittler from Ian Turnbull. Time 2:49.
Stephen Pearson had to back in on his goaltender, and the Leafs, well, they'd like to win this one for King Salmi. Pearson 7 backing in. The rebound to Sittler. The captain gets it up and over as Pearson sprawls in the crease.
Goes back from Boutet to Ian Turnbull. Out of Maple Leaf, leading 1-0. A quick pass for Pat Boutet, intercepted by Lewis and shot back into the Leaf zone. And Trevor Johansson back in the net into the corner. Now he's trying to get it out. He's covered by Trottier. who's back out there now after having an ice pack on the side of his head. Running into Bill Harris. The puck from Turnbull up at center, goes down the ice. That's going right to Rick. Lewis picks it up for the Islanders. Got it around on the boards. Is brought in offside by Trevor Johansson. Face off outside the blue line.
Roger Nielsen, he's well aware of the fact that the team that scores the first goal in the game normally wins the hockey game. Statistics point that out. He just wants to get one step closer to the Stanley Cup than last year's team.
On the face-off, it goes back to Lewis, over to Potvin. Potvin back to Lewis again. Lewis comes out over the blue line, a long pass. Knocked down by Ian Turnbull. Turnbull for Sittler. Sittler knocked it over the line. Lewis knocks it back out again. There's going to be a penalty here. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
What's a guy like me doing ironing shirts? Not so hard. I got a GE self-cleaning iron that uses most tap water and flushes itself to help stop brown spotting. And a self-cleaning valve to help prevent clogging. Not bad, eh? Listen, if my wife can paint a wall, I can iron a few shirts.
Yeah, whenever the walls need painted.
The self-clean, too. Cleans itself to last twice as long as ever before.
Darling.
From Canadian General Electric.
Brian Trottier takes the first penalty of the game for high sticking here at 3:35. Trottier was injured in the early moments of play. Now he's in the penalty box, and the Leafs have scored first. Goal by Sittler from Turnbull at 2:49.
And they've given another ice pack down in the penalty box for his cheekbone. From the face-off, Lanny McDonald. The Belichick didn't score!
Power play goal, and twice now the Leafs have come off the bench. Two quick goals have put them in front 2-0. With Trottier in the box, serving a high-sticking penalty. Here's the setup. Valaket, who played a big game on home ice in Game 4, gets the second Leaf goal.
Assist number 7,
Here's the
Lanny
play again.
McDonald.
Lanny McDonald.
And number
Turnbull again
27,
moving up, but
Darryl
Valaket is right off the
Time
crease and puts it in
3:40.
behind Resch. 51 seconds between
Jack
goals.
Valaket
Sittler
from
and
Lanny
then Valaket.
McDonald and Darryl Sittler. Time 3:40.
3:40 the time. Sittler and McDonald get assists, and Valaket scored. He's happy, huh?
Boy, is he ever. Toronto Maple Leafs go in front 2-0 with 16 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the first period. Jimmy Jones, Pat Boutette, Ron Ellis, Ryan Glennie, Randy Carlisle. They shoot the puck in again, race in after it. Butler had a piece of it, picked up by Stephen Pearson over on the wing, and Gillies left it there and then tapped it into the corner. Islanders with Pearson. Over to Jerry Hart for Trottier. Trottier coming up to center. Given a bump by Jones. Comes over to Pearson again over the red line. Dives the puck in around on the board. Andy Carlisle to Jerry Butler. Out it comes for Pat Boutette. Knocked down by Bosty. It's intercepted by Butler. Knocked it over the line. Pearson then gets it over to Jerry Hart. Up at center for Hart. Over the line. And that one is called back. Bit of a high sticking going on.
Kazicki and Glennie in there. Oh, the stick still coming up. Boutette now involved. Gillies there as well. Glennie and Kazicki still want to get at each other. The rookie, Mike Kazicki from Mississauga. Been a big factor for the Islanders throughout this series. Ryan Glennie equally effective for the Leafs in a defensive role. Now Carlisle is involved. D'Amico trying to restrain them. Took the Leafs just 5 seconds to score that power play goal. Valaket from McDonald and Sittler, with Trottier going off for high sticking. Trottier re-injured a jaw that was bruised in an earlier game. We'll have additional penalties. Kazicki and Glenny, at least, will go to the box. Eddie Westfall just at the end of the Islander bench with a choice seat. He's very unhappy that he's unable to play tonight. He re-injured his knee in the game on the island the other night.
A penalty to number 24, Brian Glenny. 2 minutes for high sticking. Time 4:28.
4:28 high sticking penalties to Kazicki of the Islanders, Glenny of the Leafs.
For Toronto, Brian Glenny, 2 minutes high sticking. Time 4:28.
And we're all set to go again now with Stan Weir out there with Williams, Johansson, and Turnbull. Bob Bourne, Bob Nystrom, Stephen Pearson, and Jerry Hart. The puck kept by Williams to Stan Weir, and Weir waited too long. Stan Weir takes a look. Tried to get it back. Bob Bourne covered by Weir, and it goes to Pearson. Pearson into the corner to Jerry Hart off the board. And it's picked up by Bourne. Bourne to Nystrom. Over the line for Nystrom. He stopped Turnbull. Cleared it, but not out. Bob Bourne, covered by Johansson. Jerry Hart takes the shot. He runs that one off the post. One right off the post. Dan Weir up at center. Over the line. Closing in. Takes the shot. He gets bent. Trevor Johansson drives it in to the side of the net. Behind the goal, Williams hits Pearson. Jerry Hart over here to Nystrom. Up the blue line. Up the center ice. To the Leafs line. Got it into the corner. Trevor Johansson. Williams takes his man out. The puck is then cleared back to Dennis Potvin. Over it comes to Lewis. Lewis gets it back to Dennis Potvin. Here comes the shot. Palmatier stops that. Ian Turnbull flips it out to center ice. Dennis Potvin back to Lewis. 2-0 Maple Leafs lead. First period. Palmatier around on the boards to Mike Pellick. Lanny McDonald couldn't get it out. Johansson covered his man. Mike Pellick cleared it, but not out. That's in by Dennis Potvin. Here comes Lewis's shot, and that's going high up into the crowd.
Now the Islanders applying some pressure. Yes, indeed. After the Leafs got off to a very quick start, there's Dave Lewis, the defenseman for the Islanders. Dennis Potvin took a shot that came awfully close. And a reminder that May is Red Shield month. Support the Salvation Army and the Red Shield campaign. 12 seconds left in the penalties to Brian Glenny and Mike Kazicki.
Jude Drouin, number 17 at center now with Potvin, Lewis, and Howitt. Cleared by Randy Carlyle around for Ron Ellis. Ellis back for Carlyle into the corner. Randy Carlyle cleared the puck out and down the ice. Going back after it is Kazicki, who is back out on the ice now. Ferguson have to do some forechecking. Stole the puck. Tried to get it in front. Cleared by Pat Boutet, took his man into the boards. Gary Howitt shot out for Drouin. Too far. Mike Pellick off the board. Dennis Potvin gets away from Pat Boutet over the line into the corner, and he's bumped out of the play. And Randy Carlyle goes down. The puck is underneath him, and that's where play will end. 13:01 remaining first period. 2-0 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This Stanley Cup 78 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Hey, Canada, the weekend's coming.
Now's the time to relax with the taste of the country. Coming at ya in one great lager beer. Now's the time for Canadians, Molson Canadians. It's your kind of beer.
All set to go now for the face-off in the circle. And you saw Ferguson win the draw, so Randy Carlisle picks it up back of the net. Randy Carlisle picking his way out. A perfect pass to George Ferguson in full flight at center. Over for Pat Boutet. He goes to the corner, gets the puck, centered it out in front. Ferguson just wasn't there. Back for Drouin. Up to center ice. The long shot wide of the net. Ends in the corner, comes to Palmetier to Ron Ellis. Up for Pat Boutet. Unable to get it out. Drouin knocked it into the corner. Lenny to Randy Carlisle. Back it goes to Pat Boutet. He just flips it out and down the ice. A race for it. Ferguson trying to get a hold of it. So is Pat Boutet. Jerry Hart just a check from Glennie. Back up for Howard on his wrong wing. And down he goes. Ferguson to Glennie. Glennie, a quick pass out at center. Went sliding down the ice past Dennis Patvan. He's changing on the go. Lanny McDonald, Darryl Sittler, and Danny Maloney. Trottier over the line. He was checked. The puck came over the blue line. Down went McDonald. Lost his stick. Goes over to the right wing. Sittler went for a slide. Passes into the corner. Mike Bossy trying to center it. Trevor Johansson to Lanny McDonald. To Darryl Sittler. A pass out for Maloney. Maloney going over the line with Turnbull. Turnbull shoots. Oh, and ref stopped that. It's cleared, but not out. It ends up right in front of the bench. Spectators in the crowd get a 2-0.
Before the game, we talked to Lanny McDonald about his play in this quarterfinal series so far.
Well, it'd definitely be nice to score a few goals and help the guys out. In the first 5 games so far, I haven't been needed that much to score because everyone else has really taken up the slack. But now that we're down to a do-or-die situation, it'd sure be nice to get 1 or 2 and help the guys out a little.
And Lanny McDonald got his assist in this game on the goal by Valaket from Sittler at 3:40. It followed one by Sittler.
Turnbull drives the puck in behind the net. Resch having a little bit of difficulty controlling it. Cleared then by Dennis Potvin. It comes over here to Bossy at center. Bossy trying to get around Turnbull. Chased off to the side. Turnbull bumped into him. Bossy missed. Dennis Potvin was in check. And it's cleared by Jimmy Jones down the ice. And that one is rolling wide of the goal. It'll be touched, and that is icing. With the score, Toronto 2, New York Islanders nothing. This is Stanley Cup 78.
My family has a problem. Work shoe odor, sneaker odor, sport shoe odor. I wish they made special odor eaters for shoes that take a beating.
Announcing Super Tough Odor Eaters, made of extra durable, comfortable foam loaded with billions of particles of activated charcoal. Super Toughs absorb perspiration and the charcoal destroys odor for 3 months.
Super Toughs really work.
And they're so comfortable. Get Super Tough Odor Eaters for sneakers, sport, and work shoes, and regular odor eaters for everyday shoes.
And we're all set now for the face-off in the lead zone to the left. Comes back to the blue line. Jerry Hart let it go, and that's wide of the net. Trevor Johansson ahead for Jerry Butler. Hit him on the skate, didn't get it out. Frank Gilly hit. Butler is dumped. There's going to be a tripping penalty there. Jerry Hart for tripping.
Let's catch the replay on that as Butler unleashes the pass and then is upended by Hart.
Jerry Hart. 2 minutes for knee. Time 9:19. Jerry Hart for knee.
A knee penalty to Jerry Hart.
With their new wrinkle of a power play, they have Valaket, Stan Weir, Lanny McDonald, Darryl Sittler, and Ian Turnbull. Leafs trying to work the puck out of their own zone. Over to Sittler. Off his stick. Jack Valaket goes back to Sittler again. Over to Turnbull. Turnbull behind the net. Trying to bring it out. Over for Valaket. Up to Stan Weir. He goes over the line. A pass for Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald to Valiquette. Valiquette in the corner. Back to Lanny McDonald. Back to Turnbull. A shot. Darrell Sittler into Valiquette. Valiquette back to Sittler. Over to Turnbull again. Here comes the drive. And that one's deflected wide. Harris gets it out to center ice. Dan Weir to Turnbull. Over to Sittler. Back to Valiquette. Up for Lanny McDonald. He drives it to the other side. Harris clears it out. Turnbull has the puck. Back to Darrell Sittler. Sittler, 43 seconds left in the penalty. Over the line. Stops. Shoots it into the corner. Dan Weir is there. Over to Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald. Two lead players are knocked down. Trying to get it back to Sittler. Dave Lewis. Checked by Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald goes behind the net. Comes out on the side. Still has it. Into Valiquette. Valiquette right in front of the net. Scores! Lanny McDonald.
Valiquette is hurt on the play, getting up slowly. McDonald scores for the Leafs. He breaks the drought, and it's 3-0 on the power play. The revamped power play for the Leafs pays off twice now early in the first period. And Valiquette has been a key man. He shoveled that pass to McDonald. He got it up.
Toronto
Upper
goal
corner,
scored by number
3-0
7,
lead.
Lanny McDonald. Assist,
Here's the good
number
play by
8,
Valiquette as
Valiquette.
McDonald cruised in just above the glove of Glenn Resch from short range.
From Jack Valiquette.
McDonald still
Time
wearing the birdcage to
11:03.
protect that broken nose. And he's had so much trouble scoring, and he gets his second goal at 11:03 first period on the power play.
There's the time remaining in the first period as Lanny McDonald from Valiquette at 11:03. And it's now for Randy Carlyle. The Leafs lead at 3-0. A long shot. Glenn Resch goes back. Williams is there. And they hold it. And we'll have a face-off in the Islanders' zone to the left.
Glenn Resch, University of Minnesota Duluth, purchased from the Montreal organization. The sign painter's been very busy this week. That's a pretty good likeness of Ian Turnbull, young artist there. A new press box high above the gardens. Full tonight.
Out of Maple Leafs 3, Islanders nothing. 8:45 remaining first period. Sittler, Williams, and Lanny McDonald. Was not stopped fairly by John D'Amico as the centerman wouldn't put their 6 on the ice. Williams has the puck in the circle. Lanny McDonald went after it. It ends up on Bob Bourne's stick. Gets it up to Trache. Trache then to Price. Over for Nystrom. Randy Carlyle is there. Carlyle covered by Price along the boards, and that's where it ends.
There's the goal scorer, Lanny McDonald of the Leafs from Valiquette at 11:03. And interesting there to see Glenny try to ram Nystrom into the boards. He probably says, I saw enough of you, young man, the other night in overtime. I'm not going to give you much skating room tonight if I can help it.
Dave Lewis and Dennis Fatbank come out on the defense now for the Islanders. Kazicki at center. The puck goes to Lanny McDonald, and he just flips it out to center right. Goes over Lewis's stick. Lewis then gets it up at center. Williams goes after. Bourne was hit by Brian Glenny, and it's Randy Carlyle to Williams. Williams coming down the left wing, up to center. Got the puck over the line, but it was offside, and it's brought back. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Al, a Lotto Canada package for Mother's Day. Isn't he a sweetheart?
He sure is. You could win up to $5,000 if your number matches one of the numbers chosen on the Mother's Day draw May 12th. You could win $1 million June 9th. You could win right now, instant money, up to
$500.
You gonna take us for dinner?
Oh, I could. but I won't.
You get 3 chances to win with one Lotto Canada package. Now, that's
My kind of lottery.
Thank you. Make it yours.
Here's the time, 11:59. Leafs leading 3-0. Roger Nielsen giving instructions at the Leaf bench. Alakett has not returned after he was hurt. He's gone to the Gardens Hospital for repairs. Here's nice from Gibson's shot. On the chin, stopped out. Darryl Sittler up for Lanny McDonald. He just pokes it out to center and down it goes. The Leafs revised their power play and they scored twice. They lead 3-0. Up at center for Dennis Potvin. Over the line. Turned around. And Trevor Johansson bumped into his check. Goes behind the net. Trevor Johansson for Stan Weir to fire. And Dennis Potvin has it now for the Islanders. Cleared in. It's over the red line. And that is icing.
If the Toronto Maple Leafs win this hockey game tonight, Game 7 in the series will be played back at Long Island in the Nassau County Coliseum. Game 7, if necessary, Toronto with the Islanders, Saturday night. We've got a 7:11 time on the clock, 7 minutes, 11 seconds left to play, first period. Leafs in front, 3-0.
Here's back to Turnbull, a shot. He scores!
Did Stan Weir tip it in? Looked like he did. 4-0 Leafs. Turnbull took the long, low shot. It trickled through the pads of Glenn Rush. Nobody expected this kind of a start from the Leafs tonight. Nobody I know. Turnbull's shot. Redirected by Weir. He'll get credit because he tipped it just before it went through the pads of Glenn Rush. Watch it from this angle. See if you don't agree. Hits the stick of Stan Weir. Through the pads into the corner of the goal. 4-0 Leafs
Toronto
in
goal
front.
scored by number 2, Ian Turnbull.
Well, they've
Assist
given it to
number
Turnbull.
14, Stan Weir.
We'll see if they change it.
12:53. Ian Turnbull from Stan Weir. Time 12:53.
12:53.
Brian, I think they'll change that. I think they'll change that.
I think they're changing goalies as well, I believe. Glenn Rush has gone to the bench. Whether he took himself out or Arbor removed him, we'll see. Bill Smith now. Gusherette with a word of thanks to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
For 14, Stan Weir. Assist number 2, Ian Turnbull.
They have
time
changed it.
12:53.
12:53 remains the time. Weir gets credit from Turnbull on the long shot. This guy could have been picked up in the draft early in the year by any other club. And the Leafs are thanking their lucky stars that they still have him. He's been very valuable since he came back up
Now
to
in
the
goal
Central
for New
League.
York
And now Bill
Islanders,
Smith,
wearing number
takes
31,
over in
Bill
goal.
Smith.
His first appearance in the quarterfinals. Bill Smith in goal.
Toronto Maple Leafs 4, the Islanders nothing. 7:05 remaining in the first period. Bill Smith in the nets now for the Islanders as Turnbull flips into the crowd. And the faceoff will be outside the Leaf blue line.
Bill with 2 points tonight. Turnbull has moved up in the individual scoring race. Look at the exercises Smith goes through. Rick McLeish leading all scorers with 11, and O'Reilly, Gare, and Turnbull all have 10.
The puck ends up in the corner in Leaf territory. Howard has bumped off the puck. Trevor Johansson went after it. Kept in by the Islanders. Wayne Merrick shot it around behind the net into the corner. Picked up and shot by Turnbull down the ice. And that's going to be icing. And we have 6:36 to go in the first period. 4-0 for the Maple Leafs.
And again, I imagine Borja Salming is listening to this game in Wellesley Hospital tonight. He must remain in isolation. Hundreds of people have tried to come in and visit Borja. He's received hundreds of gifts, get well cards, thousands of those. Tremendously popular athlete across the land. They have to have a security guard at the door to his room to keep well-wishers away.
Ryan Crutchy, Mike Fossey, and Clark Gillies for the Islanders. And on the faceoff. Turnbull covered by Trottier. Gillies gets it back to Jerry Hart. He took his shot. Cairns in front. Johansson knocked it off to the side. Butler can't get it out. Gillies the shot. Palmatier stopped that.
Mike Bossy, number 22, standing right off to the side, hoping for some sort of a rebound on Gillies' shot. There's Bossy, his wife Lucy, looking on in Montreal tonight at her parents' home, very proud of this young man who's a strong candidate for Rookie of the Year. 53 goals.
Tremendous shot, Brian, and he's very accurate with it.
The thing about Bossy, he seems to appear from nowhere on the ice. You don't notice him. Suddenly he's right there in a good scoring chance.
The puck is still in the face-off circle. It's finally tipped back to Jerry Hart. Gets away from Butler, gets his shot. Palmatier stopped that, and it deflects off the glass up over into the crowd.
Bossy said at the first of the year, I hope the Islanders will be patient with me if it takes me a while to get going. Didn't take him long. First rookie to score over 50 goals. Maybe a long time before another one comes along to do it.
Watch the face-off again. Watch them trying to get those sticks down. And when they don't, the linesman has no alternative but to chase the player right out of the face-off circle. All set to go again. This time Butler to Randy Carlyle. Beautiful stick handling by Randy Carlyle. He gets it over to Brian Glennie. Up for Pat Boutet, and knocked it out to center right. Goes over to Pearson, over to Hart, back to Pearson. Pearson at center, flips it in. Gillies was way inside the blue line for some reason. And, of course, that's outside.
Stefan Pearson. Mentioned earlier, 14th round draft choice from Sweden, and they left him over there to mature, and they figured he was ready after the World Championships last year, and he certainly has proved that. 50 assists this year.
5 minutes, 54 seconds remaining to play in the first period. And Toronto Maple Leafs are leading the New York Islanders 4-0. Puck at the blue line as Butler took a run at his check. Now over the line for Pearson behind Trottier and Pat Boutet. A pass to Jerry Butler off his skate. Comes back out to center ice. Randy Carlyle waits, flicks it in. Jerry Hart goes back to get it. And Jerry Hart trying to pick his way out. Comes over the blue line. Over on that left side is ridden off by Jimmy Jones. Palmatier and then to Randy Hart. Got it to the blue line. Pearson's stride goes to the far side. Carlisle's got it again. And Randy Carlyle. Complete charge back there in the leap end. Carlyle over to Jones. Jones at his own blue line. Up to center. Takes a long shot. Kind of missed it, but it was off the target. Merrick is checked. Zicky, and it's Pat Boutet into the corner. He's grabbed by Hart. The puck ends up behind the net. They're trying to kick it out in front, and they hold it. Sittler there.
Smith took a whack with his goal stick at Darryl Sittler, trying to clear some traffic from in front. He has been known to show his temper from time to time, especially with
live from
opposing
Maple Leaf
forwards.
Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Take me away, lover. I'm yours. I don't go with married women. What are you doing tonight, Granada? Granada? This is my Mercedes. Hold tight. Ingens to my Cadillac.
Cadillac, that's the Granada. Alone at last, beloved.
Beloved? Where's my bride?
You got that Mercedes with another man.
Another man?
The new Ford Granada. Looks like Cadillac and Mercedes, but at a lower Granada price. When North America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
And we're all set to go now. Sittler, Lanny McDonald, Dan Maloney, Trevor Johansson, and Ian Turnbull. Maloney against Hart. How a big shot by Lanny McDonald, and he just blasted it as Maloney got the draw. Back up the ice for Lewis. A long shot. That's high over the glass. Faceoff comes outside the blue line. Lanny McDonald fired that one about an inch wide.
Well, when Glenn Resch left the game and gave way to Bill Smith, he left with the best goals against average, and Mike Palmatier isn't far behind. There's Resch looking on from the Islanders bench.
4 goals that means that Mike Palmatier would be better. The puck comes to Turnbull. Quick pass to Darryl Sittler. Closing in. Takes his shot. Missed stop that. There's another drive by Darryl Sittler on an errant pass. Back up for number 21. Mike Kazicki getting it down the ice, and back for it is Trevor Johansson. Johansson to Lanny McDonald, to Darryl Sittler. For Maloney, he's in the clear, going right in on goal, and he was hook checked by Bill Smith as he tried to get around him. Kazicki coming up the center, over the blue line. Trying to lay it back. It goes out over the line. Jerry Hart clears it back to Stephen Pearson. Pearson then to Jerry Hart. Hart comes up with a long shot. Palmatier had no trouble with that. There's going to be a penalty here. Looks like a slash. Maloney speaking to Pearson.
So Dan Maloney goes to the box. The referee, Dave Newell. Number 9, Maloney. This is the close call where Bill Smith made a diving Johnny Bauer-like stab at the puck to prevent another goal.
2 minutes for slashing. Time 16:30. Dan Maloney for
slashing penalty to Dan Maloney.
16:30.
Still, the Leafs are nowhere near a record when it comes to most goals in a period in Stanley Cup play. Back in 1944, the Montreal Canadiens scored 7 in one period against Toronto. 11-0 was the final score.
Puck comes back. Pearson has it for the Islanders. Over to back to him. But there's a shot by Gillies. It's wide. Rossi in the corner. Dennis Potvin, number 5, trying to get into position. Goes back to Dennis Potvin. Comes back to Mike Rossi. Comes to Pearson, a shot. And Palmatier stopped that. Played out in front of the net. And Mike Palmatier comes up with it.
Comes up with a big save, too, off Stephen Pearson, the rookie defenseman. Palmatier has just been brilliant throughout the games played so far. On the power play, little things happen you don't sometimes notice. There's Jones being tripped up by Gillies.
Comes back to Pearson, into Gillies again. Gillies waits. Gets it into the corner. Gauthier gets it back to Pearson. Pearson then to Dennis Potvin. His shot. Palmatier stopped that. Gauthier. Back it comes to Pearson again. Another shot, and that one was wide. Dennis Potvin to Trottier. Back to Dennis Potvin. Passed it behind the net. Mike Palmatier couldn't get it away. It ends up behind the net again. Dennis Potvin to Trottier. Trying to center it. Gillies' backhand is wide. Turnbull's got it. Off the boards, but not out. Jerry Butler then gets it out. Butler going down at center. Over the line. Takes his shot, and Smith had to stop that. Butler leaves the ice. Ellis is out there. Over the line for the Islanders. Dennis Potvin again with it. 28 seconds left in the penalty. Comes back to Pearson. Dennis Potvin, a shot. Palmatier came out and challenged them and made the save.
Let's go down now to Dave Hodge.
In our first intermission, we'll get the comments of Howie Meeker and look at the highlights he has selected, and we'll see an excerpt from a film recently put out by the Ontario government entitled Hockey Is. Stay tuned for the first intermission.
Okay, David, Howie's going to be pleased with the way the Leafs are playing the man, finishing the check tonight, and he'll also comment, I'm sure, on the Leaf power play. Palmatier charged well to prevent a hard shot there from going in.
George Ferguson, Ron Ellis, Lenny, and the puck is kept in by Nystrom. Nystrom gets set for his shot, and he missed it. And that shot was so hard that it went screaming down the ice into the corner in Islander territory. Dennis Potvin back for it, behind the net. Now he starts out. Nystrom nowhere near him, and it goes to Glenny. Glenny just shoots it down the ice. Maloney is getting set to return. Ferguson after it. Ferguson trying to touch the puck. It was touched by the Islanders. So Well, it'll come down for icing, but Maloney is back, and the Leafs have killed off another penalty, Brian.
The Leafs have been out racing the Islanders to the puck throughout this first period. The Islanders may be just a little bit sluggish tonight. It's a horrible period for them. They came in here. We're hoping to wrap it up here at the Gardens tonight, and while there's plenty of time left, they're certainly behind the 8 ball. Watch Ferguson there, squirt right between 2 Islanders and get to the puck. Guess he didn't touch it there. Finally, Merrick comes through with it, number 11. Valaket has been stitched up. He was cut on the nose. He'll be back.
Kazuki all ready to face off. The puck ends up beside the Leaf net there. Taken by Mike Pellick around for Lanny McDonald. He just let it go to center right. Gary Hart with 1 minute and 13 seconds. Rolling it down. Randy Carlisle goes back to get it. Randy Carlisle around for Lanny McDonald. Covered along the boards. Fingers there as well. Lanny McDonald trying to get it up. Kept in. Price gets his shot. Knocked down. And Palmatier gloves that. Holds onto it. But Nystrom is perhaps the most dangerous Islander out there.
I would agree with you. Nystrom and Potvin. There's Bert Marshall, the veteran defender. Playing in his 8th year of postseason play. Played for Charlie Finley for a few years. The old California Seals.
Set to go. Saw Dan Maloney inside the rim of the circle. That's why that was called back. Watch him again. Just at the rim of the circle. Puck is dropped. Sittler won the draw to Mike Pellick. Around for Lanny McDonald. Out to Darryl Sittler. Going up with Maloney. Over the line for Sittler, 1-on-1, and the puck is cleared. Not out. Now it's brought up by Bert Marshall, number 6, the center. He shot the puck in. Goes around on the board. Pass Bourne, and it's picked up by Randy Carlisle. Rolls it over the line for Maloney. Maloney takes his shot, and that's high. And ends up over on the left wing. Bob Bourne, stopped by Carlisle, who got back very quickly. Lanny McDonald drives it over the line, and that's called offside. 18 seconds remaining in the first period. 4-0 for the Maple Leafs.
A lot of speed shown on that last shift, especially by Sittler and McDonald. Maloney took a wicked shot. And there's the score. Toronto in front. 4-0 for any late tuners in. That may come as a surprise. 18 seconds to play. First period.
Goes back to Dennis Potvin. Potvin over to Lewis. Back to Potvin. Potvin in his own blue line up the center right. Shoots it in. That bounces. And it took a crazy hop off the boards and went over the glass.
Including tonight's game, there will have been 29 games played so far in the playoffs this year. Last year, there were 30 games through the end of the quarterfinals, a total which would be equaled if the Leafs win this one tonight. There's Turnbull. He leads both teams with 8. Well, he's got 10 playoff points now. We just picked up 2 for him here in this first period.
Dennis Potvin over on the side, spin, a long shot, and that one goes over the glass as well, just as the bell goes to end the first period. And now let's go down to Dave Hahn.
Quite a roar for the Maple Leafs. A startling first period result, 4-0 for Toronto in a series that has been very close all the way. And it started at 2:49 when Sittler scored from Turnbull. Then 2 power play goals from the Leafs, and that has been a problem. But they realigned it, putting Sittler back at the point. He assisted along with McDonald on Jack Valaket's power play goal. Then McDonald scored from Valaket, another power play, and Stan Weir from Ian Turnbull. At that point, Chico Resch was lifted from the Islanders' goal, and Billy Smith replaced him for the remainder of the first period. 4-0, Maple Leafs over the New York Islanders. And as I say, you have to be very surprised at that. Again, the score at the end of one period, Toronto 4, New York Islanders, no score.
Well, it's kind of hard to describe what makes you go there. 6 feet of snow or it's spring you go, every time you get a weekend free. It's just a feeling you get from the very air you're breathing. Something that says you found it, right where you want to be.
Well, in the summer, there's swimming and sailing. In the winter, there's ice fishing, skiing. In the fall, you tromp around these woods, and the colors are just incredible. There's always something different. And I don't care where you go, you won't find better country or a better beer.
So get the great taste, that's Canadian. More than Canadian. All year round, it's Canadian. It's your kind of beer.
Providing their share of the family income makes a lot of sense to a lot of women these days. And so does buying life insurance. Think about your future and talk it over with a Mutual Life of Canada agent.
4-0, Toronto over the Islanders after 20 minutes of play. And Howie Meeker, I haven't seen the Leafs as fired up as they were to start this game. They seem to be trying to take a round out of each other at Palmateer's goal crease before the opening face-off, as if let's really get ready for this. They were ready.
Well, I think the crowd did it. You know, you constantly hear Leaf players and press and fans, hey, you know, we don't do it as well as the Islanders. We don't do it as well as Philadelphia. We don't do it as well as anybody else. Hell, they do it better than anybody else when it's the right time to do it, and they did it tonight. You know, the Islanders certainly have lost their poise, their puck-handling ability, and I would think their desire to rub a few bodies. And they've lost, I think, their puck-handling ability through the heavy checking, but tonight they want nothing to do with the Leafs physically, and that's when the McDonalds and the Sittlers and the rest of the guys fill the net.
You talked about the revamped power play and suggested maybe McDonald back at the point with Ian Turnbull. You were close. Daryl Sittler went over there. Turnbull went to his wrong side, and 2 power play goals. You can't argue with those results either.
No, you certainly can't. But certainly the key is that McDonald has hung on to the puck. The Leafs are playing with tremendous confidence because no one's running at them. And with no one running at them, you can afford to hang on to that puck and make the play and hang on to the puck as long as possible. But the key again is that the Leafs took the play to them. They're taking the body, and the Islanders want nothing to do with it, and they're handling the puck like plumbers. Really, they are.
Okay, Howie will be back later in the intermission with Howie's highlights. Next, Hockey Is from the Ontario government, an interesting hockey feature. Stanley Cup 78 continues in just a moment.
Introducing 15,000 miles of protection, 15,000 miles between oil changes. In one test, cars with new STP motor oil were run to simulate stop-and-go and highway driving. After 15,000 miles, each engine was pulled and inspected. The results, clean parts and virtually no wear. Protection for 15,000 miles. New STP motor oil. That's extra protection.
At participating outlets of these stores.
Introducing the patented Mark collar from Arrow. Revolutionary, and that's fact. It's the first collar ever shaped to fit the human neck. Until now, men's collars have been cut like a tube. The Mark's ingenious shaping is like a cone. Result, a comfort like you've never experienced before. A new, crisp look with the neckband out of sight. The patented Mark collar. Only by Arrow.
This film excerpt you're about to see was put out recently by the Ontario Ministry of Culture and Recreation. Entitled Hockey Is, it tells you what hockey means to people across Canada.
Oh, well, I like hockey. It's really fun, like competition, and most of it is just trying to score goals. Well, I don't score many, but I try. And I got a lot of assists. And right now, my team's in 5th position. We're out of the playoffs, unfortunately. But we weren't very good a team.
If I hadn't spent the time playing hockey, and I spent a lot of time playing hockey when I was younger, I may have gotten into a little trouble being out on the streets. But I think the most important thing, it's a great source of recreation for our young people.
Most of the winter months are taken up with hockey. The summer months also, because our kids go to hockey school and they're getting ready for the coming season. And it is most of our life during the whole year. We really enjoy it.
Well, hockey's a little different to me. To most people, it's simply a sport. To me, it's a business as well. But what I don't forget is that the fun of hockey and the joy for kids in this country is much more important than the business aspects of it.
Well, hockey is an opportunity for every boy in this country to participate in what I think is the finest sport in the world.
Well, hockey to me is a very skillful game. It's a game that I think too much we take for granted. Everybody plays hockey in Canada, but I think sometimes we forget how skillful the game really is.
Hockey is a sport that combines unbelievable speed, many different kinds of skills, as well as heavy contact. And when you get all those three ingredients together in a sport, it's unrivaled.
Occasionally, players get carried away and think fighting is hockey too. But it isn't. Fighting is not counted as a hockey skill. When the fighting starts, the clock stops. This film is about the true meaning of hockey, the traditional meaning. A meaning we care for very much. But who cares what hockey is, or how it's defined? Well, he cares, and he cares, she cares, and they care. And so does every other responsible person, because hockey's influence on our youngsters extends far beyond the 60-minute mark and the arena walls.
It is very important that parents and coaches and officials really think about how they behave, what they say, what they do when they are around the hockey arenas. Because everything they do, they're really an example for the children that are watching them.
That's Professor Barry McPherson talking, a man who has served as chairman of the Parent Education Committee on the Ontario Hockey Council.
We know from recent research that the behavioral patterns and attitudes of children are often learned by imitating that which adults do themselves. And so I think it's really important that you think about what you say and what you do every time you enter an arena. Remember, you can set the example for kids.
A boy who gets away with bending the rules in a hockey game is likely to try the same thing away from the ring. But who can do anything about that? He can. She can. They can. We can. Anybody can by seeing that the adult behavior which our youngsters imitate is worthy of imitation. By seeing that the game is played in the way the rules define it, hockey will be more fun, more exciting, and healthier for everyone.
To play hockey well, you certainly have to be physically fit. You have to be in condition to skate a long time with short rest, and to take physical contact, you have to be fairly strong and durable.
Ontario, as a province of Canada, can be proud of the fact that hockey originated in Kingston back in the 19th century. Today, hockey is a growing international sport, and we should be justifiably proud of our founding role in a great game that is now promoting greater understanding among nations.
Well, as a boy, it was a game, and it's something I really love doing. Still playing now, when you score a goal or you win, you still have the same gut reaction that you had when you were a child, you know, and it's a good feeling.
I like getting goals. It's fun, it's exciting, and I like taking the man out, and I think it's fun. It's just a good sport, I think.
People who have played hockey, either as a 6-year-old or as a 60-year-old, really feel something special about the game. They get out in the ice, and their whole attitude towards life changes. It's very difficult to worry about business or about school or anything when you're out there with a puck and a hockey stick and skates on. And we often don't get the true feeling of what hockey's all about by watching the National League or by watching minor hockey. I think you have to be out there playing and just feel how really enjoyable it is and what a super game it is.
That's why we made this film. Let's keep in mind what hockey is.
In its full length, that is a 24-minute film. It is available to hockey associations and groups through the OHA Technical Director's Office. And the address to write to is 559 Jarvis Street, Toronto, with the code there for you as well. Hockey is a very interesting film. Next, Howie Meeker will have highlights as we return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
With music like this, you get huge sound pressure. And if your hi-fi system can't take it, you get breakout. So switch to the new Dynaharmony by Hitachi. Dynaharmony is really 2 amplifiers in 1, with a unique reserve circuit that gives you 100% more power when you need it, like now. Dynaharmony by Hitachi, 100% more power when you need it. Dynaharmony is at your nearest Hitachi dealer.
You're about to be welcomed to one of the best hotels in the world. The hotels with the best locations, near the things you need to be near. The hotels with the best system of standards for taking care of you. The hotels that take care of more travelers than anybody else. Holiday Inn welcomes you to some of the best hotels in the world.
In Game 5, overtime was needed to get a 3rd goal to decide the outcome, and in 20 minutes of hockey tonight, we have 4, all by the Leafs, who lead the Islanders with a tremendous display in the first period. Howie, how did those goals go in? What were the Leafs doing, and what were the Islanders not doing?
Well, certainly, Dave, the Leafs were playing hockey with the stick, and they were checking with their body, and this is the one thing that you have to do to play the game winning hockey, is checking with the body, and then when you get the puck, that's when you manipulate it with the stick. You never check with the stick. Okay, we're going to show you 3 goals, and on every one of the goals, if an Islander had taken the man instead of playing the puck, nothing would have happened. A lot of people say, hey, that Maloney's not doing very much for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, watch him just scare an Islander left winger off the puck right here. The Islander left winger picks up the puck. He sees Maloney coming, look it, throws the snow, mishandles the puck, and there's Turnbull of all people on the right side of the rink, although he's playing left defense. Now watch Pearson, the defenseman. It's a 2-on-1. Now right there, let's back it up if we got time. Back it up. All he has to do instead of looking to see where the Reich made the save is take Sittler, and bang, no goal. Sittler picks up the rebound and he goes. He plays the puck into goals. All right, the second one. Dennis Potvein's the culprit here, but I'll tell you, Lanny McDonald just played super hockey. McDonald coming around behind the net. Now Valaket goes in behind. Now watch Potvin come out. Now it's right there. If he takes McDonald, no goal. None whatsoever. It comes back onto McDonald's skate. He kicks it on the stick, excuse me, and throws it up high. Just a great goal. Okay, Merrick's taking the face-off here. Now, win or lose the draw. It's not important if you win or lose the draw, but if you lose it, you take the man. Look at the man goes in behind, and Stan Weir puts the Turnbull shot in. But all Merrick had to do, win or lose the draw, is take Weir. And it's tough to do tonight because those Leafs are just a hammer.
4-0 for Toronto. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Ryder rents trucks, all kinds of trucks. And Ryder does everything possible to make sure the wipers work, the headlights work, the brakes and steering and transmissions have been checked out. So practically nothing can stop a Ryder truck. Because when you rent trucks, you don't want them to give you problems. You want them to solve your problems. Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
Of all the tools you use in business, nothing has more immediate impact than long distance. Long distance clears things up quickly. Long distance gives you control over the situation and gets things moving. Long distance lets you know where you stand.
and lets you react. Then and there. Every day, businessmen make over 1 million hard-working long-distance calls, because long distance means business.
We're back in the gondola. The teams are back on the ice. And here's Bill with a surprisingly long summary of that first period.
That's right, Brian, and there they are. Sittler at 2:49, Valaket at 3:40, McDonald at 11:03, and Weir at 12:53. The Leafs outshot the Islanders 13-11.
If the series goes 7 games, if it's necessary, it'll be played back at Long Island in the Nassau County Coliseum Saturday night, 8 o'clock start Eastern Time. We'll be there to bring it to you over Hockey Night in Canada.
Jude Drouin starting at center now as George Ferguson replaces Jimmy Jones. Last-minute shuffling by the two coaches. And it's Jerry Butler, Pat Boutette, along with Turnbull. Turnbull gave the puck away. Jude Drouin trying to get it loose. It goes to the corner. Ferguson gets in there as well, and we'll have a face-off.
Looking at that filmed intermission segment, Bill, hockey is. Guy Lafleur is a 12-year-old. Bill Clement telling me the other night that playing with Guy in Thurso, Quebec, Guy got 21 of 22 goals scored in a single game. He dominated the game then as he does now.
The puck is shot down the ice. Then it's Hutvan going back for it. Pat Boutette after him. Off, down with Potvin. The puck ends up in the corner. Back Gillies with it now. Gillies is checked by Ferguson. Puck comes up to center. Ferguson's got it again, trying to break into the clear. Down with Potvin. Dave Lewis, a long pass to Gillies, and it's called back offside inside the blue line over the red line at center. And Brian, you're going to mention about how warm it is here in Toronto, but look at that ice. It's in super shape.
Well, it is. It's held up very well. The temperature in the building will rise about 20 degrees, I'm sure, during the course of this game. There's Dennis Potvin, key man for the Islanders. Tops the Islanders' all-time playoff scoring. 46 points now ahead of Jude Drouin.
Johansson pass off the boards, grabbed off by Dave Lewis of the Islanders. Shot the puck in. Trevor Johansson back in the net. 4-0 for the Toronto Maple Leafs as we just started the second period. Here's a pass out in front of the shot. Palmetier covered the short side. Now then, Jerry Butler and Lewis bumped together. Johansson and Gillies and Ferguson. A pass ahead to Boutette with Turnbull. Pat Boutette dropped it back to Ferguson. He shot it wide. Goes in behind the net. Trying to center it out in front. Picked up by Dave Lewis. Lewis gets it over onto the right side to Mike Bosby at the blue line, up at center. Shot the puck in, wide of the net. Around for Lanny McDonald. Long pass to Boutette with Ferguson over the line. Dropped it back to Ferguson, a hard shot, and Bill Smith covers up and puts that stick out.
Crowd reacting to that menacing gesture by Bill Smith. Smith and Resch are very close. They spend a lot of time together. They like each other very much. Here's the replay now as Boutette drops it to Ferguson. The shot on its way. Nobody really coming in to bother Bill Smith very much, but just in case, he got the goal stick up.
Dan Weir now with Williams and Ellis. Bill Smith replacing Glenn Resch, who started this hockey game in the first period. Puck comes back to Randy Carlyle. He shot it, stopped by Jerry Hart. Hart shot it around on the boards for Harris, and he's bumped by Glennie. Cleared over to Carlyle. Carlyle flipped it up at center. Hart brings it over. And as soon as it's touched, well, it's offside by about 4 feet.
Trevor Johansson getting some tape on the stick, up in the shaft. He's going to lead a Leaf contingent up to Thunder Bay after the season's over. Hopes the folks up there get a chance to meet some of the Leaf stars. He's had a good first year.
Tremendous season. Puck goes back to Pearson, then to Hart. He drove it into the crowd over the glass.
He's got it. Take a bow. Not you, fellow behind him, the guy that got the puck.
Puck goes back to Jerry Hart. Over to Pearson. Pearson's pass for Wayne Merrick to Harris. Ends up in the corner. Randy Carlisle took him out. Jerry Howard trying to center it. And that one comes over to Randy Carlisle. Up it comes to Stan Weir. Stan Weir, a long shot off the board. Williams tried to get to it. Comes to the blue line, but not out. Lenny kept it in. So did Ellis and Williams. And they shoot the puck around behind the goal. Jerry Hart with it. Hart watched by Stan Weir. Into the corner. Pass up to Wayne Merrick. Merrick over on the right side to Harris. A long shot wide of the net into the corner. Howard is bumped by Ron Ellis. Knocked into the board. Puck is cleared down the ice. Going to the red line. It's over. It's touched by Dennis Potvin. Icing is the call. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Stanley Cup 78.
What's it take to brew a great light beer?
You gotta have heart, mother heart. If you're gonna brew a beer with great taste, there's only one place to start. Molson Light has got heart, 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 miles and miles of heart, heart, heart. Molson Light has got heart.
Darryl Sittler, Lanny McDonald, and Dan Maloney out there now for the Leafs. Bob Bourne, along with Zicki and Nystrom for the New York Islanders. Lewis and Potvin, the defense. They're getting an awful lot of work in this game tonight. A long pass for Lanny McDonald went down the ice, hopped over his stick, so it'll be brought back for icing. And the Leafs are looking for breakaways. They're leading 4-0.
You know, Al Arbor has a difficult decision if the series goes to the 7th game. Bill, who's going to start in goal? Glenn Rush had a rough time of it in the first period until Bill Smith took over.
From the face-off, Maloney brings that puck right out with Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald gets it over the line, trying to get a hold of it, and Bob Bourne got in ahead of him. Maloney was there, though, trying to get it up in front. Bob Bourne given a hit by Lanny McDonald. And Dave Lewis shoots the puck in. Palmateer looks to go. Trevor Johansson touched it. Icing is the call against the Islanders.
I mentioned Bob Nystrom in the first period and how he has been very prominent for the Islanders throughout. He said once he wished he had a shot like Lanny McDonald of the Leafs. He scored the winning goal, 8:02 of overtime. One happy fellow. He's a little down in the mouth, and who could blame him after his agent walked off and cost him $150,000 a few months back. That would shock any hockey player.
Lanny McDonald shot one wide right for the face-off. Ian Turnbull inside the blue line, shot around to Dan Maloney behind the net. Nobody covering him. He got it up front. It's cleared to Nystrom. Nystrom covered by Lanny McDonald. Cleared over to Bob Bourne, over the line, drop pass, a shot. Palmateer stopped that. He gets up slowly. Cleared to Lanny McDonald, going behind the net, into the corner. Stops, holds it against the board. Mike Palmateer goes for a skate. That one seemed to catch the inside of his ankle.
Yeah, it took a crazy bounce. Palmateer may have caught him on the inside of the leg. Let's see now. It's Kazicki's shot. Turned the skate outside. Maybe that caught him on the ankle or the inside of the leg, and it stung him.
Ian Turnbull's going down to have a chat with him right now. Well, Turnbull comes back after reporting to the coach, Roger Nielsen, that he's okay. We have 15 minutes and 59 seconds to play in the second period. But the Leafs leading 4-0. Zippers, Ellicott, McDonald, and Weir in the first period. Puck out to center. Shot back by Gilly into his own zone. Brought back down. Shot wide of the Leafs net. Back for it is Randy Carlisle again into the board. Puck comes loose, and it's picked up by Jimmy Jones. Able to get it out. Bert Marshall keeping it in with Gilly. Gilly centered it. It's knocked out. There's a race for the puck. Pat Boutet trying to get into the clear. Does. Going right in and goes. He scores!
Pat Boutet in a race with Pat Price. The two Pats and the older Pat Boutet outraced the younger Pat Price, number 3, all the way down the ice. Price knew he was beaten from the blue line in. Hats off to Pat Boutet on a spectacular rush. Now, Price started out with a stride lead. Boutet has caught up with him and passed him at the blue line. A good burst by the Leaf winger. A little corner there. He picks it. 5-0.
Pat
Leafs
Boutet,
in front.
unassisted. Time 4:36.
4:36 the time, unassisted. Boutet scores.
Pat Boutet with dazzling speed, getting into the clear and making it count. And the Leafs lead it 5-0. Butler is given a shot. It goes to Jimmy Jones, to Randy Carlisle. Cleared it to the blue line, but not out. Here's a chance for Flossie a shot, and Privateer stopped that. Goes up for Pat Boutet again. With Jerry Butler and Jimmy Jones over the line. And it's picked off there and cleared around by Pat Price. Gilly gets the puck to center right. Cleared by Drouin over the line. Called offside, and the faceoff comes out. And we haven't seen too much of Brian Trottier. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
The Magic Organ, a special album of 25 all-time favorites. This 25 all-time favorites album is in the stores now. Album $6.99, tape $7.99. The Magic Organ.
Pat Boutet with 3 goals, 10 assists in his playoff career. Spectacular dash down the ice for goal number 5.
Harry Howard gets it back to Jerry Hart. He's covered by Stan Weir. Goes back to Pearson. Pearson of the Islanders over to Hart. Over the red line, drives the puck in. It goes around on the board. There's Stan trap it. It hops out. There's a race for it again. Stan Weir. And Jerry Hart got in ahead of him. That's Pearson. Steps in front of Stan Weir, then gets it to Ron Ellis. Back to Ian Turnbull to Trevor Johansson. Johansson. Trevor Johansson makes his move to a long pass out for Stan Weir again. And that's knocked back to Jerry Howard. Howard drops it to number 10, Lauren Henning. Over on the right side, back from Pearson to Henning. Over the line, back to Henning. Ends up behind the net. And Ian Turnbull is checked, and Henning shot it wide. Tiger Williams trying to get down the left wing. Harris covered in. Stan Weir, then to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull over the line. Takes his shot. He fired it wide. Rebound. Brought out by the Islanders, Gary Howitt. Stopped by Ellis. And Turnbull has it again. Over the line. Takes his shot. It's knocked down by the defense. And Gary Howitt has it for the Islanders. Up for Henning. Henning takes a long shot. Volunteer stops that. And Trevor Johansson around on the boards. And down the ice it's going. Going over the red line. And that is icing called against the Maple Leafs.
Looks like Turnbull has reintroduced the position of rover to hockey. He's all over the ice. Confessions of a hockey nut. There's John Wayne in the crowd. Leafs #1 fan. And Dennis Potvin. He runs a golf tournament near Ottawa every summer, raises a lot of money for charity. Dennis and John Potvin. A lot of the Islanders say they'll be there this year.
And the face-off is shot. Palmatier stopped that and knocked it over the glass. Spectators.
Try to scramble for it in there. John Hudson, head of CBC Television Sports.
from the face-off. It's Bob Nystrom, bumped against the boards by Maloney. Maloney and Telek. Maloney shot it over. Carlisle whipped that one down the ice as he tried to lead pass for Lanny McDonald. That's what they're doing, Brian. They're putting their two forwards up their center ice as the Islanders have to come to them trailing 5-0.
We've learned that Jack Valaket took 8 to 10 stitches in the nose and eyebrow.
Back to the net for Mike Pellick, around on the boards for Lanny McDonald. Stopped by Lewis, caught by Palmatier, and he's going to hold it. Cruising in was Mike Kazicki, number 21.
Palmatier was congratulated on his sparkling play on the island the other night. A reporter said he played well, and he said, thanks, I just played my normal great game. Here's his average, 2.38 in the playoffs.
Goes back to Randy Carlisle, over to Maloney. Maloney up to center ice. Dennis Potvin covered. Maloney had a hold of Zicky's stick, but it was offside at the Islander blue line. 12 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in the second period. 5-0. Toronto Maple Leafs leading the New York Islanders. Sittler gets it back to Mike Pellick. A long shot wide of the net. Sittler trying to get loose, and it's Kazicki going behind the goal. 10 right out of spot. Pass it over to Nystrom. Back to Potvin, back to Nystrom. He wasn't skating, and Sittler takes the puck. Harold Sittler skating in his own territory. Up to Mike Pellick for Maloney. Maloney just drives the puck in. Lanny McDonald goes racing after it. Picked up by the Islanders. Brought down the ice by Dave Lewis, the center. Got the puck in. Maloney gets it back to Randy Carlisle. Up to Lanny McDonald. Carlisle follows up, knocked it off the board. And it's brought back by the Islanders. Good drew after. Hit shot. Pellick fell in front of that. And it's out to center ice. Back to the blue line. Dennis Potvin. Stopped by Carlisle and Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald. Lanny having difficulty every once in a while looking down into his skates with that mask on. He loses sight of the puck. Randy Carlisle. And drew it out to center ice. Right back in again by Martin. Palmatier right between Ian Turnbull's legs. Turnbull into the boards with Gillies. And it's cleared by Randy Carlisle down the ice. This one is just over the red line. Icing is the call. This is Stanley Cup 78 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Evinrude has all kinds of power to get you where you're going in a hurry. Whether you're in a hurry to catch your supper, or even in a hurry to catch something else, Evinrude gives you 17 ways to go, from 2 to 235 horses. Because some things in life are worth hurrying for, Evinrude gives you all kinds of power.
All set to go now. Ferguson out there with Kurt Walker and Williams. Williams has the puck. Back to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull starts out at his own blue line at center. Gets it over the line. Pokes it through. Williams a backhand. Kurt Walker goes after it. It's cleared out and down the ice, and Johansson has to go back for it. River Johansson flipped it, but not out. Juan is then bumped from both angles. Pat Gillies tried to center it. Kurt Walker gave it away. Two-ran shot. Palmatier's not down. Cleared out in front again. Turnbull and Palmatier, and they're going to give Turnbull a penalty.
Well, Turnbull felt that he controlled the puck without pulling it underneath his body, and Palmatier came out quickly to help him on the play, but the referee says, no, you're going to the box. Walker getting his first ice time, number 26. First penalty of the second period. Let's watch it again.
Toronto
now.
penalty
The puck
to
is
number
loose.
2, Ian Turnbull.
And Turnbull
2 minutes
does
for deliberately
appear to draw it in
delaying
from
the
this
game.
angle, but
Time
was the puck loose
9:35.
by his side? The Leafs say it
Ian
was.
Turnbull for deliberately delaying
Delay
the
of
game.
game.
Time 9:35.
9:35. That was quick work by Palmatier coming out. He's allowed to fall on it. 9:35, the time of the penalty. Trottier has been back in the clinic with that bruised jaw. Apparently he's all right. The jaw is sore. We'll see how much ice time he gets the rest of the way.
Lenny tapped the puck, but not out from the faceoff. Dennis Potvin for Bossy, who was bumped. It's poked to the blue line, but not out by Jerry Butler. Now off Jimmy Jones, and it comes out. Pearson has it now for the Islanders to Dennis Potvin. Potvin in for Gillies, and it was offside. Gillies stepped over the blue line, and the Islanders just can't do anything right.
John D'Amico, the veteran linesman there, he was only 10 feet away, and he said that came out an inch or so, and then went right back in.
Leafs win the draw. Randy Carlisle wrapped it down off Potvin. It goes over to Pearson, back to Potvin. Potvin pass over on the right side for Bossy. He's bumped. It came out, and it shot down the ice by Jude Bruin. And the Islanders go back for it. Shot it down their own end themselves. Now it's Stephen Pearson, number 7, coming up over the blue line, up the center. A pass is deflected into the Leaf zone. Jerry Butler back for it, and he flips it into the crowd.
Islanders having all kinds of difficulty on the power play, shoveling it all the way back down the ice. Stephen Pearson had to go back and retrieve. Third in rookie scoring with 56 points. A big find for the Islanders. Danny Gare is at the game tonight. We'll be hearing from Danny. Dennis Hextall a little later on. Their clubs have been eliminated. But everybody handing out accolades to the Detroit Red Wings for their surprising turnabout.
Toronto Maple Leafs 5, the New York Islanders nothing. 9:32 remaining in the second period. Comes back to the blue line. Shot wide of the Leaf net. Mike Palmatier flips it off the glass. Picked up by Bob Bourne. Bourne gets it back to Dennis Potvin. Dennis Potvin to Bob Bourne. Bourne back to Price. Took his shot. Palmatier shot back. Played back. Jimmy Butler going after it along the board. Tries to get it out. Kept in, and it goes to Trevor Johansson. And he takes it out thanks to the extra effort of Jerry Butler. On the ice, Dennis Potvin. 30 seconds left in the penalty. A pass just got by. Bob Bourne left it for Potvin. He was checked by Jimmy Jones. And Price has to go back. Price. A pass for Bossy. Shot it back again. And at least he got the puck way down on the Islander end. Islanders now with Price trying to bring it out. 9 seconds, 8 seconds left in the penalty. Comes to Krzyzewski over the line. Krzyzewski takes his shot, and that goes high up into the crowd, up into the Red Sea. And the penalty has been killed, and Turnbull is back out.
Just a desperation shot by Krzyzewski. The Islanders so sluggish with the man advantage. There's Ellis. 2 game-winning goals in the playoffs. Danny Gare was remarking about what a remarkable comeback Ellis has made.
Yes, and now 42 out of 44 penalties that the Leafs have successfully killed. And, Brian, that's doing the job.
Well, it is. I mentioned the other night, I can't recall ever seeing such standout penalty killings in a long, long time.
A long shot. Palmatier tried to get to it. Williams out there with Ferguson and Kurt Walker. Gary Howitt bumped against the board. Wayne Merrick centered it, and it goes all the way to Kurt Walker. Walker coming up the center with Ferguson over the line. And he shot it wide of the net. Walker after Jerry Hyatt. Williams. There's a shot by Walker as Williams tried to level Jerry Hurt. Puck still in the Islanders zone. They hold it behind the net and play it goal. The Leafs holding in there. With the score, the Toronto Maple Leafs 5, the New York Islanders nothing. This is Stanley Cup 78.
What's it take to brew a great light beer?
If you're gonna brew a beer with great taste, there's only one place to start. Mother Light has got heart, 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 miles and miles of heart, heart, heart. Mother Light has got heart.
Had one yet?
Well, we're all set to go now, and Dan Weir, Pat Boutette, and Jack Valakette is back after his injury, playing on the left wing. This is his first shift since he was hurt. Back up the ice for Pat Price. Up the center for the Islanders. Over the Leaf line. Got around Turnbull. Left it for Merrick. And that shot was deflected wide, and the Leaf race after it. Dan Weir, a long pass for Pat Boutette. Going back to get it is Marshall. Marshall bumps into Boutette. The puck came out front, and it's grabbed by Bill Smith. Weir and Howard having a few words.
Weir and Boutette and Valakette making things happen out there tonight. Here's Weir in with Howard along the boards, and they get all tied up. Now Howard takes a swing at him. Weir with 4 points in the playoffs. The Leafs win tonight. They're one game closer to the Stanley Cup than the Leaf team was last year. If they lose, they're dead even. And if they win, Game 7 on the island, Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
Well, now they've got Williams, Walker, and Maloney out there.
Look out. Trouble in the Gardens now.
On the faceoff, the puck back in the net. Williams after it. Down goes Marshall. There's going to be a tripping penalty. A long shot. Palmateer's got that. And we have a penalty coming up to Williams. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Ford Fiesta, with the secure feeling of control that's important in a small car. Fiesta, 0 to 80 kilometers in an average of 8.8 seconds. Road-gripping Michelin radial tires. The traction of front-wheel drive. And excellent gasoline economy. Fiesta, imported from Germany by Ford. Test drive Fiesta at your Ford or Mercury dealer today.
Tiger Williams wasn't out there very long for the face-off when he gets called for tripping at 12:43 in the Islander zone.
At center, Drew Drouin now with Gillies and Bossy. Drouin gets it back to Dennis Potvin. He missed it. Ran into the line front. Gary Butler shoots it down. Goes in behind the net. And the Islanders right away are back in their own zone. Pat Price. Up at center, right down to Turnbull. Turnbull cleared it over the blue line. It was back. Gillies took a shot. Ian Turnbull wound off the glass.
Hard to understand this Islander team. Actually, they were sluggish there, almost going in reverse at times. Potvin never misses a play like that. Well, hardly ever. Then he ran into the linesman. It's just been a horrible night all around for the Islanders. This is a team that had 6 30-goal men, tremendous power play, great defensively. You know,
from the face-off, twice the shot. Palmateer's going to hold it. 6:42 remaining in the second period, 5-0. Face-off, it goes to the corner. Trevor Johansson clearing it to the blue line, but not out. It goes to Bossy. Bossy having difficulties. Gets it over to Drouin. Drouin back. Shot. Broke the stick. A shot. That goes deflecting wide. Give Drouin. Trying to center. Shot it back to Dennis Potvin. Here comes his shot. That goes to Palmateer. Cleared up in front. Jimmy Jones has it. With Jerry Butler. Butler goes into the corner. Follows the puck in behind the net, but Dennis Patman beat him to it. That's right. 48 seconds left in the penalty. 5-0, the Leafs lead with 6 minutes remaining to play in the second period. Up at center for the Islanders. They just shoot the puck in. Palmatier then to Jimmy Jones. Jones around on the board, goes after himself. Gets it up to center. Islanders come up with it, and that's Jude Drouin. Drouin chased by Jimmy Jones. Up at center for Dennis Potvin over the line. Potvin trying to find a man in position. The backhand was wide of the net by Bossy. And it's cleared around on the boards again. Comes back to the blue line. Dennis Potvin over to Pearson. Pearson passed to Bossy, and that was stopped. They go to the boards, and Bossy was hit hard.
Howard got all tied up. Bossy's down on the ice. Howard got involved with Turnbull and Palmatier as they scrambled in front of Palmatier. Now Williams
back up there, and
Bossy had 2 excellent scoring chances. He has very quick hands, a quick release with the puck. Trainer Ron Waske out there. And we have the team doctor coming out.
Hard to say exactly what happened.
I didn't see him go down.
Terrific collision.
They're being very careful with Mike Bossy right now. The Islanders are concerned naturally as they gather around.
And they're running into injuries now with Ryan Fetche getting that bang on the jaw.
Leaf doctor out there as well. Mike Bossy. Then he thought when he first came up that he was French-Canadian and pronounced his name Michel Bossy. It's really Ukrainian, although he speaks fluent French. Let's see now in the replay. There's the incident with Palmatier, and now a Leaf player out of your screen takes Bossy out of the play, and we really can't tell you what happened. Say he may have shortened his name at one time, but he can't say from what. I think Dr. Lee Douglas may be looking over there and calling for a stretcher.
Now they're bringing a stretcher out.
Now they've opened the end boards where the Zamboni comes out, and they're taking the net off its mooring, so closer proximity to where the incident occurred. Mike Bossy still flat on the ice as Nystrom and Pearson gather around. So we have 5:16 left in the second period with the Leafs leading 5-0. Now the attendants come out with the stretcher. Certainly hope this young man is all right. We wouldn't dare speculate as to what happened to him.
We'll certainly try and get as much information as we can just as soon as it's available. There wasn't any great collision. Now they're bringing out the big stretcher.
Crowd standing
Douglas here
down at that end. Very quiet in Maple Leaf Gardens now as everybody watching the attention administered Mike Bossy, the outstanding rookie of the New York Islanders. Mike Bossy at the moment. If the Islanders should win this series, it'll mark the 3rd straight season in which the Islanders, Philadelphia, Boston, and Montreal have reached the semifinals of Stanley Cup play. The last time Toronto was in a semifinal was way back in 1967. Also the last time the Leafs won the Stanley Cup. They defeated Chicago in a 6-game semifinal that year and then won the Stanley Cup in 6 games against the Montreal Canadiens.
They seem to be rolling up towels.
Well, we'll let the professionals handle this. They certainly know what they're doing. There's Glenn Resch, who left the hockey game after 4 goals went past him in the first period. Goals by Sittler, Valiquette, McDonald, and Stan Weir. Turnbull had 2 assists to move up into second place, or tie for second place in the individual scoring, right behind Rick McLeish with 11 points. Very difficult to get tickets, as you might expect, for this game tonight. And nobody, I'm sure, expected the Leafs to jump out to a 4-0 lead in the first period and then add a 5th goal early in the second by Pat Boutette, unassisted, outracing Pat Price down the ice to beat Bill Smith, the replacement for Glenn Resch. Bossy, along with Trottier and Gillies, collected 299 points as a line they call the Trio Grand this year on Long Island. Bossy had 25 power play goals. General manager of the Islanders, Bill Torrey, the man with the glasses and the bow tie, his trademark. Very concerned look on his face. And now they have Bossy on the stretcher. Wellesley Hospital just 4 or 5 blocks away. Gloria Salming still in Wellesley Hospital and will be for a few more days. And early in the game tonight, for late tuners in, Brian Trottier was in a collision with his teammate, Billy Harris. Went to the bench nursing a very sore jaw. He's been used sparingly by the Islanders. Sportsmanlike crowd here at the Gardens, and they applaud as Mike Bossy is taken off on a stretcher.
Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
How long do you want your car to last?
1,000,000 miles. She's already done 89,000, and the only thing I've ever done to the engine is tune it up. Of course, I check it regularly, and the only motor oil I've ever used in my car is Quaker State.
Quaker State can't promise everyone the kind of mileage Julian Fry gets, but Quaker State helps cars last, and that's a fact.
I guess that's why Quaker State's the best-selling motor oil in North America.
Very hushed crowd at the Gardens, and in the corridor, our camera follows the departure of Mike Bossy into the waiting ambulance and on his way, no doubt, to Wellesley Hospital, just a minute's drive from here. We'll get you information as quickly as we can on the condition of Mike Bossy, the brilliant rookie of the New York Islanders. No one more concerned than Al Arbour. Coach of the year in '75, Al Arbour.
Well, we're all set to go again now, and the puck comes back. Cleared by outfielder Lanny McDonald. He races after it over the blue line. Got over top Gary Howitt. Both of them went down together, and Howitt went into the board.
You mentioned the face mask of Lanny McDonald. He's had trouble getting used to it, but he still endorses it for young hockey players across the land. He knows full well that it saves a lot of cuts and bruises through the course of a hockey season for players just starting out in the game and on their way up to the big leagues.
I think in the future you're going to see all the players wearing those kind of masks.
You may be right.
Particularly if the youngsters in their early years get used to them. And as they move into the National Hockey League, they'll all set to go. It's Ferguson, a shot right on, and Bill Smith made a save on that right off the faceoff.
Oh, now we have a scrap going after everything appeared to be in order. Again, Gary Howitt, one of the principals, and Tiger Williams, the other. Tiger Williams promised the Leaf fans a 7th game in the series back on Long Island. Tiger Williams came down to Toronto about 4 years ago, promptly went out and bought himself a $250 suit, saying, well, if you're going to be in the big leagues, you got to dress like a big leaguer. Introduced his wife around as the prettiest little wife in hockey. I wouldn't argue with him on that. And said he'd score some goals and help the Toronto Maple Leafs. The preliminary report, Bill, and we really don't have much information at the moment, is that Mike Bossy was struck with a stick in the area of the neck, and he may have been having a little difficulty with his peripheral vision while they examined him on the ice.
Gary Howitt, 5 minutes for fighting. Toronto penalty to number 22, Dave Williams.
Howitt and Williams, 5-minute fighting penalties. Here's how it started.
14:58. For New York Islanders, Gary Howitt, 5 minutes fighting. For Toronto, Dave Williams, 5 minutes fighting. Time 14:58.
14:58, the time of the majors to Howitt and Williams.
Mike Pellick and Randy Carlyle on the defense. Maloney, Ferguson, and Kurt Walker.
Willie Harris has 476 consecutive games now behind him. Gary Unger, the record holder, with 803.
On the face-off, the Islanders get it this time. Then it's putt back to Lewis. Up for Harris. Pellick stopped him. Randy Carlyle tried to get it back over the line. Then his putt band just got rid of it. And it's picked up by Mike Pellick over to Randy Carlyle. Carlyle up at center. Shoots the puck in. And knocked it off to the board. Then his putt band around on the wing. Stopped by Dan Maloney. Trying to hold it there, and he does. 4 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the second period. Toronto Maple Leafs 5. New York Islanders nothing.
Here's a fellow Danny Gare says has helped the Leafs. Dan Maloney, he says, I like his physical approach to hockey. And he's a great team leader. He's a good man in the dressing room. Gets the team up for games. Danny knows him from the Team Canada experience.
All set to go. Stan Weir wins the draw. Ian Turnbull shot it inside the net. Back of the goal for Pat Price. Price to the Islanders. Pass nowhere near his teammate. Trevor Johansson to Valiquette, who shot it back over the line. Stan Weir went after a loose puck. Mazicki then shoots it down the ice. Going back to get it is Turnbull. Touched it. Icing is the call against the Islanders.
Can't say enough about the play of Ian Turnbull throughout the playoffs, especially in the absence of Borje Salming. He's emerged as the real leader of this club, offensively, defensively. And the new press box installed this year affords the reporters covering the playoffs a great vantage spot.
On the face-off, the puck in the circle, brought up by number 21, Mike Kazicki. His pass for Bob Bourne was behind him, and it'll be called back on a delayed offside.
4:04 to play, Bill. Let's go down to Dave Hodge.
In our second intermission, you'll meet Danny Gare of Buffalo and Dennis Hextall of the Detroit Red Wings, our player guest, to talk about this game and other series. And Howie Meeker will have highlights of our second period.
Thank you, David. 5-0. Toronto in front. Here's the faceoff.
Dan Weir to Trevor Johansson. Johansson, delay whistle offside again. And it'll come outside the blue line. The tempo of the game has certainly almost come to a standstill with the injury to young Mike Boston. Seems to have affected the players now as Ian Turnbull just gets it over to Trevor Johansson. Bob Bourne, checked by Stan Weir. Along the boards for Ellis, stopped by Marshall and Johansson. Stan Weir moves out with a pass for Velichek. Turnbull moves up with him, takes his shot. Look out, that's high. That bounced off the railing and came back down below.
I haven't seen bodies around the gardens move that fast since Harold Ballard asked somebody to get him a second cup of coffee. Oh, there's the cut on Valiquette's nose. 8 or 10 stitches there.
Sittler, Lanny McDonald, and Maloney. Randy Carlisle and Brian Glennie. But the Leafs set the tempo very quickly and produced 4 goals in the first period. Take a 4-0 lead. A breakaway by Boutet has made it 5. We had 3.5 minutes remaining in the second period. Puck at the Leaf blue line. Harris is bumped by Maloney. It's shot all the way back down the ice. And back forward is Jerry Hart. Hart at the side of the net. Shoots it off the boards to center for Henning. Randy Carlisle skates him off. And Glennie lets the puck go along the boards and leaves it there, and that's where play ends. Nice individual effort by Randy Carlisle.
He played a strong game on the island the other night, and he's been out almost a month after suffering that golf cart accident in Florida.
Wayne Merrick, Bill Harris, Lorne Henning, Stephen Pearson, and Jerry Hart for the Islanders. We got Pat Boutet out there now playing on the left wing with Darryl Sittler and Lanny McDonald. Puck comes back to Henning. Shot! Mike Palmentier stopped that. Carlisle in the corner. He's jammed against the board. Sittler gets the puck loose to Carlisle. Carlisle around to Pat Boutet, who lets it go to the blue line, but not out. Ryan Glennie. For Boutet, he lets it go. Pearson passed it. Lanny McDonald goes after it. Knocked out. Carlisle races up. Gets over the line to Sittler. Sittler back to Lanny McDonald. Pat Boutet trying to get it. And it's picked up by Pearson. And the lead player then, Pat Boutet went after Pearson. The long pass now up on it to Bob Nystrom. Nystrom at center. Long shot. Palmetier gloved that easily. Williams came in after it. Kurt Walker couldn't get it out. It's stopped by Lewis. Hit shot. Palmetier stopped that. Maloney to Ian Turnbull. Around on the board. Walker ran into Lewis. He goes to the corner. Turnbull covers his check and makes sure.
Kurt Walker from Hingham, Massachusetts. Says he sometimes has a fantasy that he scores a very important goal in a big Stanley Cup playoff game. Maybe he will someday. This is seen back in Massachusetts.
Shot right for, hit the goal post. Mike Gillies wrapped one off the post. And they can hear it all the way up here. Ferguson now gets the puck for the Leafs. Tried to center it. Behind the net, picked up by Denny Tuckdown. Right outside, Jude Gowan. That's the second post the Islanders have hit tonight. Dennis Patvan. Drawing back. Got the puck down into the Leaf zone. That's over the red line, and it's touched by Turnbull. And it is, and that's icing. Bill Smith getting a new glow stick after he broke his when he thought the puck had been, it was in the net.
A lot of interest in this game tonight from the other teams competing for the Stanley Cup, and some of those eliminated. Press boxes jammed. The game being seen back in Boston and Massachusetts tonight. There's the score, 5-0. Leafs in front. 52 seconds left. Mike Bossy injured in the second period. Apparently a neck injury, and he's gone to hospital for x-rays.
Back to the net, Bert Marshall. Marshall. A pass. That's right. Up to Harris. Harris having difficulty controlling it. Gets it over the line right onto Randy Carlyle's stick. Carlyle moves up through center. And then as he gets over, shoots into the corner. Jimmy Jones going after it. So is Jerry Butler. Comes back, out over the line. Stopped by Randy Carlyle. He bats it right back in again on second effort, and it's outside at the blue line.
Well, Bill, our producers and technicians have been searching for a camera that caught the accident with Bossy. We saw the one in front of the goal or beside the goal. Now here, Bossy 22 in dark, and he's taken into the boards. He hits his head against the boards, and that's when the injury took place.
Set to go. Goes in over the blue line. Shot out by the Islanders. Kazicki trying to get by Carlyle, and he couldn't. Bert Marshall with 10 seconds remaining in the period. Shoots the puck in. Round on the board. Balaket jammed. Flips it up for Jimmy Jones. Balaket wasting time just as the bell goes to end the second period, which was dominated again by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And now we'll go down, and here is David Hodge.
One goal in the second period, that on the breakaway by Pat Boutette to put the Leafs up by 5 goals. The Islanders outshot the Leafs 14-6. Second period included the incident with Mike Bossy being injured, and of course there continues to be concern. We will give you information as we get it on the condition of the Islanders rookie, the probable Calder Trophy winner this year. In our intermission, we'll be talking to Danny Gare of Buffalo, Dennis Hextall of Detroit, and Howie Meeker. With the score, the Toronto Maple Leafs 5 and the New York Islanders nothing.
Hey there with that car to buy. Grow with us.
Hey there with that knot to tie.
Grow with us. Adding on that extra room. Going off to college soon. Come on, everybody, grow with us.
Scotia Plan Loans, a low-cost, convenient way to get yourself growing in dozens of ways right now.
Come to Scotia Bank and grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us. Grow with us.
The Amway story has many chapters. This is one of them.
We felt trapped in a gray world, dead-end jobs, stuck at home, and then we discovered Amway.
We started part-time. We built an independent business, helped others start Amway businesses too. We're building it our way, and that gives us a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment. We're living again, With Amway, you could make it happen.
See your Amway distributor.
And get the whole story.
Lightning strikes twice. First, Thunderbird, a legend in style and personal luxury. And now, lightning strikes again. Futura, a dramatic combination of styling and technology. Thunderbird and Futura, two unique personal cars in two sizes and two prices. Only at your Ford dealer. The better ideas keep coming from Ford.
5-0 for the Maple Leafs over the New York Islanders at the end of 2 periods of play. With us now are a couple of players whose teams were just recently eliminated from the Stanley Cup quarterfinals. Buffalo Sabres captain Danny Gare and Detroit Red Wings centerman Dennis Hextall. And Dennis, at the risk of offending you in any way, perhaps you know what the Islanders are thinking. An 8-0 game with the Canadians got out of your hands very quickly, just as this one did on the Islanders, the Leafs scoring so fast. Is there anything you do when everything falls apart at the beginning?
There's not much. I think after the first period, I thought the Islanders might come out and try to turn the game around, and I thought maybe they did the first 2 or 3 shifts. And then Toronto got that goal to make it 5-0, and from there it's been Toronto all the way.
Both of you fellas haven't seen the other games in this series, and I must tell you that this is in no way indicative of what has happened. It has been as close a series as you'd want to see, except for perhaps the first game when the Islanders took a 3-0 lead in the first period and went on to win 4-1. But this is a total surprise. Have you seen anything, Danny, in your first glimpse of this series that would indicate why the Leafs are dominating as they are?
Well, I think, Dave, right off the start, they showed that they weren't going to be pushed around tonight. They went out and took the body, and they finished every check, and I think they neutralized Potvin. They didn't let him get started, or Gillies or Trottier, and I think their big guns in Sittler and McDonald got them started getting the goals.
Some of our viewers saw the Montreal-Detroit series, obviously those in the province of Quebec. And Dennis, others who didn't might want to know what to expect from the Canadians apart from obvious strength in the semifinals, and if they get that far, the finals. And I must say that all reports I heard indicated that the Red Wings gave them a scare in several ways. But are the Canadians doing anything against you that you didn't expect that other teams might look for?
No, they got an awesome machine there, and I think the Canadians' big thing is their defense. The 3 big defensemen, Robinson, Savard, and Guy Lapointe. You have to control them. If you let them skate and come out of their own end, it turns their forwards loose. Their forwards don't come back. They're turning at the blue line and wheeling. So if you can control their defense, I think you have a chance to control their team. And we really keyed on Guy Lafleur, and I think he ended up with 7 points in the series, but he got 5 in the one game. And Paul Woods, who's a rookie in our team this year, I thought he did a tremendous job of shadowing him for the 5 games.
So you think that's proper strategy if a team has a player such as Woods, try to put him on Lafleur?
Well, it seemed to work. Lafleur took quite a few penalties in the series, and generally he doesn't. And we thought we had him pretty frustrated there, and what I say, he's a great hockey player, and it's just a matter of time before he's going to break loose on you.
Danny, everything I hear out of Philadelphia says the Flyers really aren't playing that well. I suppose that isn't a tremendous compliment to the Sabres, but they have said that the Flyers have played better, but perhaps Bernie Parent has not played better than he did in your series.
Yeah, I thought, you know, during the season we seemed to play pretty well against them. In fact, they never had a win against us during the season, but coming in the playoffs, they were a lot different hockey club than we played them all year, and Bernie Parent was Bernie Parent of old, and he killed us a couple of times, and you know, when you get goaltending like that, it means a lot in the playoffs.
The outcome of this series, Dan, will determine who the Flyers play in the next round, either Montreal or the Boston Bruins. Would you think the Flyers would have any preference?
Well, I'm sure that they'd rather go against the Boston Bruins because the Montreal Canadiens are, you know, are the overall favorites to win it all, and I know that they've had trouble with them in the past, but I can't take anything away from Boston either. They're a fine hockey club, and I think that either one of them is just going to be a tough series.
I just wonder whether there's an advantage to meeting the Canadians before the finals, whether Detroit maybe had the best chance of anybody to upset them, because when the Canadians get rolling, they're awfully tough to stop. But if you can throw that scare into them, get them off their game, maybe that's when you can beat them. Did you get the feeling that maybe you had them a little bit unprepared?
Well, we thought so. The first game, we went into Montreal, and as a team, we didn't play very well, and neither did Montreal. And had we come in there and really played a solid game like we did the second game of the series, we may have walked out of Montreal with a 2-game lead on them. And I thought that our team deserved to win the first game back in Detroit. It was 2-1 after the second period, and for the first 40 minutes, we controlled the game. But once again, they got an early goal on us in the third period, and when you turn that team loose, they got an awful lot of firepower.
Okay, Danny Gare and Dennis Hextall will stay with us as Stanley Cup 78 continues in just a moment.
Love Songs, a 20-star collection of super mellow music. Paul Anka.
I don't like sleep alone.
Diana Ross.
Where you going to?
David Soul.
Don't give up on us, baby.
Dan Hill.
Sometimes when the honest days do.
Disc $6.99, tape $7.99 in the stores now. Love Songs.
Here they come, the popular Ford Explorers. There's no better time to buy than now during the 11th annual Ford Explorers celebration. Special edition Ford pickups that come with special paint, mag-style wheel covers, and special cab trim. The value adds up as you add on. Pick options like power steering, Cruise-O-Matic. You'll get great value on these tough Ford Explorers. Get down to your Ford or Mercury dealer now before they're all gone.
Now there's a new color film for the one-step that develops twice as fast. Get the picture. Polaroid's one-step is the world's simplest camera, and look at the new brighter SX70 color. The picture. You'll begin to see the image in seconds, and it's finished in minutes, twice as fast as before. That's fine. You never focus. You just press the button, a motor hands it to you. Get the one-step.
I'm a music lover, but I'm no engineer. Right, Stanley? The last time I went shopping for stereo, I was so busy checking out the specifications that I didn't have time to listen to the music. So today, I brought Stanley along. He's an audiophile. Right, Stanley? He checked out the specs while I concentrated on the music. And we both agreed on Sansui. Beautiful engineering, beautiful music. Sansui. There's even music in the name. Right, Stanley? Stanley?
CBC covers the Commonwealth Games, August 3rd to August 12th.
In the second intermission, Leafs 5, Islanders nothing. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs continues as we talk with Danny Gare and Dennis Hextall. And let's break away from the Stanley Cup playoffs for a moment and talk about an item of interest. Across the country, Canada's 6-4 loss to Finland today at the World Hockey Championships. Danny, you have Team Canada experience behind you, and the questions will start again. Should Canada compete unless Canada sends her best? I don't know that the loss to Finland means anything in the way of a disaster yet. Obviously, it's only the first game, but have you got any ideas as to this controversy that seems to rage annually?
Well, yeah, it's always been brought up. I think that, you know, you have the European teams that are always playing together, and they know their style is the same all the time, and I think that it is tough on our players going over there that they haven't played together, and that each individual has his own style because of the makeup of the team that he plays on, and I think it presents problems, and you know, you got a week or 2 weeks to get prepared for a World Cup tournament, and whereas you're going against teams like the Czechs, the Russians that have played together for 3, 4, 5 years, and I feel that if Canada should do this, it would be better for the players and for the you know, the Canadian country, that if they could get a team together of professionals that could play together. But with our system, it's hard to do, so you're going to have your pros and cons.
Dennis, I don't know whether you have any thoughts on it, but you hear the players say if we say we don't want to go, we're criticized, and if we do go and we don't act the way people think we act, then we are criticized. What would your position be in this situation where you've just been eliminated? And let's face it, under different circumstances, perhaps some Red Wings and Sabres would have been invited. Would you feel that block about not being able to do the right thing either way would present a problem for you?
Well, I've heard different players, you know, they have their own viewpoints, but I think if it ever came that it was my decision to go over there, I'd want to go over and try it, you know. I think I'd have to go over there and have a real bad experience before I'd say that I wouldn't want to represent the country or Team Canada. And I think anybody that's selected, you know, I think it's an honor to be selected, and I think they should take it that way and go over there and give their best effort.
Like Team Canada goes to the World Championships, in the words of Al Eagleson, probably to pay ahead of time for the next Canada Cup Series, which, Danny, you were involved in. I guess you have to weigh whatever losses there are now against whatever victories of several sorts there can be in a Canada Cup. But the question is it worth it?
Well, like I say, I think you still have to be represented, and you know, I think with the National Hockey League and the Canadian people, you know, they want to be represented, and with the players we sent over, I'm sure that, you know, it's the best that they could do under the circumstances.
Well, there's an old saying that the main thing is to compete, win or lose, and I guess that's what we're saying. Thank you, Danny Gare and Dennis Hextall, and congratulations to both players and their teams on the performances this season. Howie Meeker will have highlights next as we return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
Hold it, it's on my foot.
Okay, let's do it. You put it on your foot. Marty, I bet you're really handy around the house. Will we ever get this thing in? Come on. Okay. Let's get a little muscle into it.
Wait, I got it. This is going to give me the strength of Freeman here.
Okay, 1, 2. Did you bring any beer down? Yeah, I'm going to tell you where it is as soon as we get the raft in the water. Exactly. Come on. 1, 2, up. Okay, give it a push. Go on in the middle.
First chance every summer, Marty and the boys get the old raft back in the water and treat themselves to a little Molson Export Ale.
We got the beer and you got no paddle. We're going up to the cottage. Stay with the ship. See you, Marty.
Molson Export Ale. It keeps on tasting great.
People, busy people, family people with good things to do. Time for dinner, but no time for fun. The colonel's on the job and dinner's ready for us. Dinner's ready, dinner's ready. Dinner's ready at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The Leafs just made Game 7 seem that much more certain with a 5th goal in that second period as Pat Boutet outraced Pat Price and beat Billy Smith, the first goal against Smith. After Chico Resch allowed the first 4, and Howie, it was a good display by Boutet. If you thought the Leafs might be holding back just a little bit, wasn't the case.
Not at all. I kind of thought they'd fall into their normal shell after they get 1 or 2 goals up. But they dumped the puck in and sent fellas in, and coming out of their own end, they picked up the man exceptionally well. Roger Nielsen, I think, has trained the Toronto Maple Leafs in their own zone all year long for this type of play. It's strictly a disciplined play. The puck will come off come off here, and there's a bad pass because Jones moved out of position, and it's knocked back in. Now watch the top of your screen. Watch Boutet come over to take Bossy. He looked for his man. He wasn't there, and did the right thing. Come over and took his man, intercepted the pass, and here it's a foot race. And gosh darn, he went in and just picked the short side. Look how far out the goaltender is, and he didn't have too much room and popped it by him. Great goal. Okay, killing penalties. Toronto Maple Leafs have just been super at it. They wouldn't be here in game number 6 and heading for game number 7 unless they were as proficient as they are. The Islanders have had tremendous problems getting the puck into the Leaf zone, not only when they had a man advantage, but also here when they're even up. Now watch, you'll see Carlisle come out. Can we hold it? Have we got time? Under normal conditions, Butler has his man at the bottom of the screen. The only place the puck can go is way over on the wing, and Carlisle forces the pass. Now, the Islanders there, as I said before, aren't handling the puck too well. The puck's right on the stick. There's a checker going to him, and he's looking at the checker. The puck hits the stick and bounce off. The Leafs pick it up and pop it out. Okay, in their own zone, discipline. Now, watch how they shorten the box up. This is the key, and the Islanders have a man in front of the net, but look they're not trying to get the puck to him. See how tight the box is? Now, when the shot finally does get through, that Islander in front of the net is moved out of it, and on this play here, the Leafs maintained the box, got control of the puck, and got it out again. And as long as they have that discipline in their own end and that desire, when they are committed to check someone to finish the check, they're going to be a tough hockey club.
You'd really have to think that the Islanders would now be thinking there's no way to win this game. Why should we extend ourselves when we realize that Game 7 is the one that's going to decide the series? But maybe the Leafs have more reason to continue it because they're going to send a lesson the Islanders' way. But the third period is going to be interesting to see just how it develops. We want to look at the injury to Mike Bossy once again. I didn't see this camera shot that we were able to pick up toward the end of the period, but this does show how he goes into the boards.
The interesting thing is here, look at the referee's right there, and it is kind of a legal check. The youngster, instead of putting his hand out and bracing himself, he had to hear the pitter-patter of little feet, and unfortunately he was caught in a bent-over position when head first into the board.
Okay, he's off to hospital, x-rays on his neck, he is conscious.
And play just underway now in the third period as the puck is cleared into Leaf territory. Made by Trevor Johansson, but not out, and it's Johansson picking it up. A pass for Sittler. Maloney going down the left wing, over the line for Darryl Sittler. Sittler is checked by Dennis Potvin. Potvin comes back for the Islanders, over the line. Gilly. The puck goes to the corner. Trevor Johansson is given a bump. Maloney gets in it, and play is called. And we'll look at the summary of the second period, which was the breakaway goal by Pat Bouchette at 4:36, and the Islanders out shooting Toronto 14-6.
Line change for the Leafs now. We look at Trevor Johansson. He'll be off for a rest. Story here at home ice, of course, Mike Palmateer. He's given up only 1 goal in 8 periods of play now in this series at home. That's a nice one.
Referee says no way on another change, so they have to kick off the ice Pat Price. So they have Potvin and Lewis. Jude Drouin has been going all the way at center now between Frank Gillies and Todd Nyström because of the injury to Brian Trottier. The puck at center. Here's George Ferguson over the line. Takes the shot, but not that. It goes into the corner. Ferguson couldn't get it. Drouin brings it back. Up at center with Gillies. Pass over the line. Gillies trying to cut in. And in the back, the shot hit the goalpost again. And that one ends up underneath Palmateer. That one hit the other goalpost.
Well, the Islanders...
Oh, it's 1 in each period.
The Islanders shoot Drouin. Can't believe it. He kept looking over his shoulder, wondering why the light wasn't on. Here's the play again. Drouin has 17. And it was Potvin who got right in front of him, wrapped it off the post. They all look back. And from this angle, you'll get a better look at it. Potvin cruising into the slot, steals the puck off Glennie's stick, off the far post, and it stays out by a foot. I bet he's grinning under that mask.
Face-off, it's Trevor Johansson back of the net. To Stan Weir. Weir off the board. Johansson was knocked down from behind, and the puck is going over the red line, and that is icing. And Johansson doesn't like him. He speaks to referee Dave Newell.
There's Brian Trottier, 95 points as a rookie. Then he collected 72 his sophomore year and 123 this season with the ice pack. And you can see how swollen that cheek is. Maybe they'll take x-rays of that after the game. The Islanders running into injuries. They've lost Westfall again. Now Trottier. Rossi.
Ian Turnbull. Up over the blue line, up to center. And Weir shot it off the board. Gets it behind the net. Ellis lost the stick. Valiquette trying to get it back. There's nobody there. And it's Wayne Merritt taking a long shot off the board. Trevor Johansson. Nice move. And he sends Turnbull again up to Valiquette. Valiquette to Ellis. And that was just poked. The delayed whistle, it goes back offside, and we'll have a face-off. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Stanley Cup 78.
I'll get it, Daddy. I'm right.
Ready? It's when your children are growing up that you realize you're not getting any younger either, and that it's time to review your own plans for the future. Talk it over with a Mutual Life of Canada agent.
Bye, Darrell. Have a good time.
We understand.
And we're ready to go now for the face-off. Goes back to Randy Carlisle, knocked it off Bert Marshall's stick to the corner. 5-0. Toronto Maple Leafs leading in the third period. At Price. Now then, Butler had a stick knocked out of his hand. Up the ice for Price. His shot. Palmatier knocked that down. Slipped into the corner. Randy Carlisle unable to get it out. Went down. Puck comes through. Now then, we have a fight.
Howard again with Butler this time. Suddenly in the corner, and the linesman moved in just as suddenly. Now Price and Pellet square off. The referee, Dave Newell. Normally the referee doesn't get involved in these situations, but the linesmen were quite busy with Howitt and Butler. 19 linesmen, 19 referees on the NHL officiating staff. Referees can make $30,000 to $40,000 a year. The linesmen make somewhat less than that. And how it goes again, he went off for fighting in the second period with Tiger Williams. Now in the corner, it's Howitt and Butler. That's how it started. This game is so different than the other games in this series. It's incredible. And a lot of the pace went right out of the game with the injury to Mike Bossy in the second period. No report yet on his condition from Wellesley Hospital. Bossy was saying the biggest thrill of his whole season was scoring the overtime goal in the second game in Long Island. And it's unusual, the injuries in this series, Bill. It's been a very rough, hard-hitting series, but the injuries have all occurred, as I recall, from non-violent acts. The accidental hit in the face of Borje Salming. The
New York Islanders penalty to number 8, Gary Howitt.
Took
2
place
minutes
with a
for
hit.
high sticking, 5 minutes for fighting. Toronto penalty to number 17, Jerry Butler. 2 minutes for high sticking, 5 minutes for
2 and
fighting.
5 to each of them. 2 for high sticking, 5 for fighting.
For New York Islanders, Gary Howitt, 2 minutes high sticking, 5 minutes fighting. For Toronto, Jerry Butler, 2 minutes high sticking, 5 minutes fighting. Time 2:10.
We also could mention the collision between Brian Trottier and Bill Harris that none of the Leaf players had anything to do with, but both of them were hurt.
Boy, that was some swollen jaw that Trottier showed us a moment ago.
I would imagine when he gets back to Long Island that x-rays will be taken.
Sad-looking young man at the moment, and looking ahead to Game 7, which of course we're going to be doing now. You wonder about these decisions. Will Trottier be able to go at full tilt? What will Bossy's condition be? Will Westfall be able to play? And who will start in goal for the Islanders? Those are worries that don't concern Roger Nielsen at the moment.
Kazicki, Bob Bourne, and Bob Nystrom out there for the Islanders, along with Dennis Potvin and Dave Lewis. Lanny McDonald is set up to the right of Darryl Sittler, who gets the puck over to him. Lanny McDonald brings it out over the blue line, brings it up to center, was jammed in on the board. Sittler took his check out, Dan Maloney gets over the line, and then he was checked, but he goes back and gets it. Dan Maloney chopped the puck in. Cleared by Bourne to Kazicki, over on the wing to Lewis, and Lewis brings it out for the Islanders. Up at center, a long shot into the corner. Dan Maloney back for it. Clears it down the ice. It's rolling. Going back to get it is Dave Lewis. There's no icing on that call. And it's behind the net now. Goes over on the left side. Bourne gets away from Sittler. Lanny McDonald had him covered. Kazicki coming up at center. Up over the line. Nystrom is offside.
If the Toronto Maple Leafs win this hockey game tonight, the 7th and deciding game in the series will be played at the Nassau County Coliseum on Long Island Saturday night. Watch for it on Hockey Night in Canada. Well, looks like we'll be right in the middle of the crowd at the Nassau County Coliseum Saturday night. Leafs 5, Islanders nothing, 17 minutes left in regulation time.
Well, back to Trevor Johansson to Ian Turnbull over the blue line up at center. A long pass over on the right wing for Kurt Walker. Bourne getting it to Jerry Hart, stopped by George Ferguson, and the Leafs checking. Trevor Johansson's pass for Walker, broken up by Jerry Hart. Over the line for Nystrom. Nystrom covered. Walker covers Bob Bourne. Walker gets the puck out to center right. Race for it. Williams has it. Over the blue line. Williams back to Ferguson. Ferguson shot it for Williams. Back to the goal. And Jerry Hart. Williams along the board. Still fights for it. Ferguson is there with him. Williams back down by Hart. And Williams has the puck again. Stephen Pearson trying to cover him. Now Walker gets a hold of it. Walker. Covered by Suzuki. Williams.
And Bill Smith, the goaltender. They had quite a duel going. Smith doesn't take anything from anybody as a goaltender. Got the sweater up now. Williams was getting very perturbed because Hart and Williams were going at it like a pair of bulldogs in along the boards. And now Billy Smith with a smile on his face and a challenge hurled at Williams. Maybe saying, I got you there. But his wardrobe certainly needs some attention. Bill Smith tried to go for a goal earlier this year. He could have been the first goalie to score in the NHL. Net empty on the other end of the rink. Colorado in town. Islanders leading 3-2. He tried a shot down the ice. It was intercepted by Dave Gardner. And the Rockies tied it up. Well, you can't be right all the time. Now, I mentioned the duel between Hart and Williams in along the boards. Now, Williams comes in front of the net, and Smith jabs at him, and Williams jabs right back. And then they decide to go at it. Kurt Walker having a word with the Tiger, and Smith gets all straightened around with his wardrobe now. The gold glove resting on top of the net. Bill Smith has a brother, Gord Smith, in the league with Washington. He's had 35 penalty minutes during the season.
2 minutes for slashing, 5 minutes for fighting. Toronto penalty to number 22, Dave Williams. 2 minutes for slashing, 5 minutes for fighting. Time,
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
A year ago, we introduced Ford's protective vinyl coating to reduce paint damage caused by stone chipping. This year, we've extended its use from behind the wheel openings here and here to this portion along the lower body side area. So now there's even more protection from stone chipping. Vinyl coating is only one of 7 steps in Ford of Canada's DuraGuard system of anti-rust processes. At Ford, we're committed to quality, reliability, and durability. And to you.
That says, get well, Borya, go Leafs go. Sign high in the crowd at the Garden. So we have 2-minute slashing penalties to Williams and Smith, plus 5-minute fighting penalties, all at 3:58. And Williams is leaving the penalty box now to go to the Leaf dressing room.
Darryl Sittler. Lanny McDonald. We need a Kurt Walker is over at the bench, and they're going to send out Maloney. Offsetting major and minor penalties, so the teams continue to play at full strength. Shot right on. Behind the net for Pat Price. Pat Price to the Islanders. He hit Darrell Sittler. Price is chased back. Now it goes over on the wing. Bob Bourne shot the puck in. Leafs go back for it. Poked off the board. Lee Henning. Ron Henning's getting a shot. Puck comes back to Frank. Hits the net. That's wide. Danny McDonald failed to get it out. Getting another shot. Palmatier gloves back. Now then Randy Carlisle up to Danny Maloney. Up at center. With a long shot. That's deflected. And it goes off the glass into the crowd. 15 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in regulation time. Toronto 5, the Islanders nothing.
Again, we look at Randy Carlisle, and another note about Billy Smith. He's had 32 penalty minutes in 25 playoff games. Another line change now. Carlisle playing in his second playoff game of the year.
Jimmy Jones with Ron Ellis and Pat Boutette. Puck taken by Marshall around and hit the board. Bill Harris carrying it to the blue line and out. A long pass ahead. Clark Gillies is driving score. He drove it right between Mike Palmatier's legs.
Well, the crowd at the Gardens groans as Palmatier loses the shutout. A good pass up to Gillies, and he winds into that one with the backswing and the slap shot far to the corner, and it's 5-1. Islanders finally beat Palmatier here in the third period with 15:09 left. Islander captain did the damage.
Scored by number 9, Clark Gillies. Assist number 3, Pat Price, and number 6, Bert Marshall. Time 4:51.
4:51. Gillies from Price and Marshall. Cleared down the ice. The Islanders go back for it. Price after it. 5-1 the score now. 14:47 remaining in the third period. Gillies again with it to Harris. Over the line. Harris, the pass for Gillies. Broken up by Jones. Off the board, but not out. Comes into Gillies again. A pass in front. Palmatier goes down and covers up.
Palmatier made a good stop there as he flattened out in front of the goal crease. He's given up now 2 goals on home ice in this series. One to Nystrom earlier in the series, and now tonight to Gillies from Price and Marshall at 4:51. Good backhand pass up to Gillies, who is racing up the wing. Glennie in pursuit. Slap shot to the corner. Gillies looks like Sampson, and sometimes I think he's just as strong.
Wayne Merrick now with Nystrom. Dennis Potvin. The puck goes into the corner. Trevor Johansson losing it to Nystrom. Nystrom from behind the net centered it. Henning couldn't get it. Picked up by Pat Boutette. Boutette with Valiquette. Valiquette bumping into Dave Lewis. Now then Henning and Merrick. Merrick's pass again. This time it's Valiquette. Valiquette. Nystrom bumping with Johansson. Back up for Turnbull. Over the line. Takes the shot. Just stop that. And they're starting to pick the tempo up a little bit. Back for Nystrom. Number 23 at center. Covered. George Ferguson has the puck. Gets it to the blue line and out. Merrick back to Dennis Potvin. Over on the wing to Lewis. And he shot it in. Valiquette goes after him. Merrick stepped in front of him. Henning trying to center it. Here's Lewis's shot. That's wide, and it bounces high over the glass into the crowd.
Lauren Henning, the penalty killer, getting more ice time now with the injuries hitting the Islanders. No, the Islanders, they may not win this hockey game tonight, but if they could come up with 2 or 3 goals here in the third period, it would give them quite a lift going into game number 7. And of course, a win here, a tie, is not impossible, thinking back to what has happened in past playoff years, but the Leafs would like to control the game right now and keep the score just as it is, force the 7th game back on the island.
Sittler with Lanny McDonald and Maloney. Puck is dropped. Jerry Hart with a shot that hit Lanny McDonald. Maloney covers his man. The puck goes into the board. Mike Pellick is checked. Still there. Cleared by Pellick around on the right wing. Jerry Hart keeping it in. So is Gilly. So is giving a shot to Randy Carlisle. It comes back. Pat Price misses it. And the Elites have a break. Up the ice for Mike Pellick. Over the line. Drops it to Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald checked before he can get out in front. Kazicki over to Clark Gilly. Gilly trying to center it. Knocked down by Maloney. Maloney for Sittler. Too far. Back for it is Bourne. Bourne's pass comes right on the Maloney stick again. Dan Maloney over the line with Sittler. Back up the center. Over it goes to Lanny McDonald. He drives it around on the board. Gary Hart bumped into him. Ian Turnbull keeps it in. He's checked. Kazicki coming down the ice. Johansson is back. Kazicki fakes the shot. Went too far. He's knocked down. There's going to be a penalty there. Hooking penalty. This is Stanley Cup 78 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
I think I'm going to leave this on. What do you think? Joyce would kill you. Every year I take it out before we go home. Here.
You keep rubbing it, you're going to wear it off.
Come on, give it time, eh? That's not so bad. No.
It's been the same deal for years. Clean up the cottage, share a little Molson Export, grow another beer.
Guys, just quit hassling me. Hand me a beer, will you? It's in the cabin.
Molson Export Ale. It keeps on tasting great.
The time, 7:42, Leafs leading 5-1. Lenny gets up slowly after stopping a shot. It goes all the way down to Pat Price. Picked off by Bill Harris. Harris on the Islanders, trying to bring it out. Watched by Jones and Ferguson. Harris went over the line. Harris comes out again. Over the line for Nystrom. And that's offside. 1:29 left in the penalty to Trevor Johansson.
54 minutes in penalties now in this game, just about half the penalty time they took the last time they met on Gardens ice. 7:42, the last penalty to Johansson for hooking.
And the face-off, it goes back to Price. Price with it. He's checked by Jimmy Jones. And Price tries it again now. A pass to Nystrom. Over the line again. And that's offside. And this time it was Drouin.
Still no word on the condition of Mike Bossy, the rookie, who was taken to Wellesley Hospital.
Price over on the wing. And Dennis Potvin couldn't get anywhere. Drouin's now going to try. He decides to try the puck in. Palmatier over for Ferguson. Ferguson just gets it out and down the ice. There's 57 seconds left in the penalty to Johansson. 11:13 remaining in the third period. Islanders with Nystrom getting over the line. Turnbull is knocked over. And the puck goes to Ferguson, who drives it off the boards, but not out. Price keeps it in for the Islanders. Here comes the shot. And that's with another drive that ends up the side of the net. Turnbull trying to get a skate on it. Finally covered up by Mike Palmatier. 35 seconds left in the penalty. 10:53 in regulation time. Jones against Kazicki, and they couldn't get their sticks on the ice, so in comes Wayne Merrick, number 11, Ron Ellis, number 6. And it's shot down the ice, right from the faceoff. Ellis goes racing after it. Bill Smith clearing it around on the boards. Dennis Potvin up for Gillies too far, and it's driven back down the ice by Mike Pellick. 18 seconds remaining in the penalty. Up for Pat Price. Jimmy Jones watches him. Jimmy Jones backs him off. Jimmy Jones, what a bit of forechecking. Dennis Putbang over the line. It's Dennis Putbang with the puck. Trevor Johansson is back out. Here comes the shot. That's high, off the glass. Trevor Johansson flicks it out over the blue line, and they kill another penalty. Now then Ron Ellis knocks it back to the blue line, where Price has it. And the Leafs are back at full strength. Over the line, offside again for the Islanders. Now Stan Weir caught a high stick from Pat Price. With the score, Toronto 4 and the Islanders 1. This is Stanley Cup 78.
Disco Fever, featuring Miko and Star Wars. Tavares.
Must be missing an angel.
Donna Summer. In the stores now. 2 record sets, $6.99. Tape or cassette, $7.99. Keep your Saturday Night Fever alive all week long with Disco Fever.
Toronto 5, the Islanders 1. As we get set to resume play here, it goes back to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull over the blue line, a long lead pass to Pat Patet, closing into the shot. It was fairly well out, though he went to the shoot. Cleared into the corner. Dan Weir knocking it. Dave Lewis covered by Boutet. Dan Weir and Pat Boutet cleared behind the net into the corner on this side. And Lewis and had a high sticking went on between Lewis and Boutet, and Boutet got a crack on the leg from Bill Smith, the goalkeeper. To keep this up, they're all going to be in the penalty box. Fortunately, some of them are coming out.
That's right. You know, speaking of penalties, the Leaf penalty killing again tonight has been exceptional. The Islanders have had 6 power play opportunities, but failed to score on any of them, so the Leafs are now 2 for 28 in the series, giving up 2 power play goals, 28 opportunities. So we have additional penalties now as Lewis and Boutet. Now, where's Lewis? He's in against the boards. Boutet
Number 31, Bill
mauled
Smith,
him a little
2
bit
minutes for slash.
with a left arm. Lewis retaliated.
Time 10:27. For New York Islanders, Dave Lewis high sticking and Bill Smith slashing. For Toronto, Pat Boutet high sticking. Time 10:27.
High sticking penalties at 10:27.
That crack on the leg cost Bill Smith, the goalkeeper, 2 minutes for slashing.
And the goaltender Smith. All at 10:27.
So the Leafs have the odd man playing 5 men to 4. And it's Sittler.
Smith's penalty will be served by number 14, Bob Bourne.
Bob Bourne is serving the penalty. 9:33 remaining in the third period. 5-1 for the Maple Leafs. Sittler wins the draw. Ian Turnbull keeps it in. Too far for Sittler. Sittler goes after it, though. Hooks it to Valakat. Valakat back to Sittler. Back to Valakat. Coming out. Front takes the shot. Another shot. Over wide. Lanny McDonald. Back to Turnbull. Turnbull to Valakat. And Valakat, it was right in front of the net, decided to pass to Sittler. Back to Valakat, coming out in front. And he tried to put it in the short side. Goes all the way down, Palmatier to Turnbull. Ian Turnbull, a long pass to Lanny McDonald. Lanny McDonald. Back to Turnbull, over to Sittler. Back to Turnbull. Takes his shot, that's wide. Sittler has it again. Takes his shot, over to Valakat. Valakett to Sittler. To Turnbull. Turnbull. Trying to find Lanny McDonald. Over to Sittler. Back for Valakett. He missed it. Clear to the blue line and out. Ian Turnbull over to Lanny McDonald again. They're over the line. Lanny McDonald to Darrell Sittler. Sittler then to Valakett. Valakett to Sittler. Sittler with the puck. To Valakett. Valakett a shot. Lanny McDonald the rebound. Turnbull waiting for Stan Weir to get on the ice. They got 5 attackers. To Stan Weir, to Darrell Sittler. Takes the shot wide. Turnbull keeping it in. Turnbull working it. Back to Stan Weir. Play is called.
Now we have the delayed penalty. Turnbull very wisely waited till the goaltender, Palmatier, went to the bench on the delay. They got an extra body out there. You can see Palmatier getting some refreshment while he has this break in the action. 7:34 to play, and we have the penalty.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
If every summer night seems like a battle you never win, then fight back with a secret weapon. Strong, effective STP insect repellent and killers. Battle the bugs with STP. Take command.
Available at these stores.
All the penalties have 1 second left to serve now. Lewis, Boutet, and Smith. But you talk about some players getting up and moving out while others move in. Hart is already in there. And we'll check the replay now as McDonald circles the net. There's Valakett being dumped in front. We still haven't heard the official announcement on the penalties. Meanwhile, we can tell you that Mike Bossy in Wellesley Hospital has been examined. He has a sprained neck. It is not nearly so serious as it may have looked on television. He will travel back to the Islanders tonight. He is going back with the team. He has a sprained neck, so that is very encouraging news from Wellesley Hospital. Mike Bossy will go back to Long Island with the hockey club after the game tonight. Still trying to sort out what's happening in front of that penalty bench. Lewis, Boutet, and Smith with 1 second left to serve. Gary Howitt, number 8, his number's on the board.
Number 2, Jerry Hart, 2 minutes for tripping. Toronto penalty to number 8, Jack Valakett, 2 minutes for tripping. Time 12:26.
12.
For New York Islanders, Jerry Hart.
The time they had Howitt's name up, but it's number 2, Hart, who's in the box along with Valakett, both for tripping at 12:26. There's 8 up there. Howitt. I think they've got him confused with Jerry Hart.
Well, they always begin with the letter H.
Trottier will not be back tonight. He's nursing that bruised jaw, but they say he will play on Saturday.
7 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in regulation time. Teams playing 5-a-side now. Then Bourne is out. Now Boutet gets out, so they're 5-a-side. Marshall gets it over to Dennis Platvin over on the wing. Stopped there by Drouin. Drouin's pass to Dennis Platvin comes all the way back out to center right. Marshall shoots it over for Drouin and Carlisle to George Ferguson to Randy Carlisle. Over here on this side to Brian Glennie. Glennie back to Carlisle. Carlisle then to Ferguson. Ferguson over the line. Got it off the glass. Smith leaves it behind the net there for Marshall to Bob Bourne. Bourne, number 14, coming to his own blue line. Coming to his own blue line. Up over the red line at center. Up to the leaf line. Checked by Glennie. And Pat Boutet clears it back to Randy Carlisle. To Boutet. Up for Ferguson. Too far. Price clears it over on the left wing. Pearson's pass from Drouin back to Price. Price over the line. Gets around. Lenny McDonald got his shot. And it's Trevor Johansson. Clearing it off the glass. Does the center. Lenny McDonald couldn't get to it. And Pearson recovers for the Islanders. 6 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the third period. Clark Gillies down the ice again. Over the line. Turnbull had a piece up. Looked out in front. Sittler's there. Harold Sittler. Starting to come out. Over the blue line. Up at center with Lanny McDonald. Over the line for Sittler. And his pass hits Zicki. Zicki goes back down the ice. Over the line. Gets around Johansson and shot. And Palmatier stopped that. And it goes over the glass into the crowd.
Game 7 in the series, played back on Long Island at the Nassau County Coliseum. 5:39 to play. That game will be necessary with the Leafs leading 5-1. We'll be there 8 o'clock Eastern Time Saturday night. Watch it on Hockey Night in Canada.
Some of the fans, Brian, starting to fly out.
It's been an unusual game compared to the others in the series.
Jimmy Jones to Trevor Johansson. Palmatier carrying it behind the net into the close to the board. Turnbull took his man down. Krzyzewski with the puck. Trying to find a man in front. Carried by Jones back into the corner. It comes back to the blue line. Marshall with a shot. That is wide. The bounce to Johansson. Gary Howard knocked it off his stick. Krzyzewski trying to center it. And Turnbull, covered by Harris, takes into the boards, and that's where play ends. 5:05 remaining in the third period. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoff.
Hey there on that garden swing, grow with us. Hey there feeling like a king, grow with us.
At Scotiabank, when you turn 59, you can become a Scotia 59er, and that means unlimited checking, a savings account that gives you an interest bonus when the cost of living rises, commission-free traveler's checks, and much more. Be a Scotia 59er.
Come to Scotiabank and grow with us, grow with us, grow with us, grow with us.
And there's the time remaining, 5:05, and the score 5-1. Toronto Maple Leafs leading the New York Islanders. On the face-off, the puck taken by Marshall, a shot as wide as the net. Over to Dave Lewis for the Islanders. Lewis from behind, trying to jam it in from the side, and it's carried by Ferguson. Pat Boutet stopping at center. Shoots it back to Ian Turnbull. Quickly on the defensive release now as Turnbull brings it up slowly. Crosses the red line, takes a long shot into the corner. Off the boards it goes, into the corner again on this side. Wayne Merrick for Bert Marshall. Marshall back to Merrick. Merrick over the blue line. It's the red line at center to Harris. Over the leaf line, he's checked. And Turnbull has it. Ian Turnbull over the blue line. By to pass. Ferguson has it. Ferguson trying to center it for Ron Ellis. And it goes back out and down the ice to the Leaf blue line. Turnbull over to Randy Carlisle. He crosses the red line, drives it right back in the Islander zone. Bill Smith leaves it. Gary Hart covered by Ferguson. Goes to Gary Howard. Up to Merrick. Mike Pellick goes after him. Took him to the board. And Gary Howard is bumped by Randy Carlisle. And Howard gets in with
the other Islanders may be looking ahead to Saturday night, but Howard just never quits. Neither does Boutet, for that matter. Oh, you can't get away. Once John D'Amico gets you like that, he's as strong a man as there is in all of hockey. Player, coach, referee, Zamboni driver. You just don't get away from him.
John got him pulled out. And you're going right to the penalty box, Mr. Boutet.
Howard already has 2 majors, one more, and he might get one here, and that would be it. And Smith has been quite a scrapper, too, and heavy on the lumber. John Shannon, one of our statisticians, said perhaps Dave Newell saw his pre-game interview the other night when he talked about some of the shots he can hand out if he's given the chance.
Referee has told him he's going to get a major penalty, and if that's the case, he's gone to the dressing room. That's it for Mr. Howard, number 8, Gary Howard.
Here it is again, Howard racing along the boards and colliding with Boutet. Ronnie Ellis in there, too. So we follow Howard all the way down the back corridor. Very interesting shot there. The Islander dressing room off in the corner. Mike Palmetier taking this chance to survey the crowd.
Three minutes and 49 seconds. The time to play in regulation time. 5-1, Toronto leading. And for a game that was going at a good clip, they've certainly been dragging it out in this last period.
Well, this game was over in the first 4 minutes of play. The Leafs came steaming out. They were prepared for the game. The Islanders seemed a bit off form, a bit sluggish. The Leafs took it right to them.
Number 8,
scored 4 goals in the first period.
5 minutes for fighting and an automatic game misconduct. Toronto penalty to number 15, Pat Boutet. 5 minutes for fighting and 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. Time 16-11.
At 16-11, Howard gets his 3rd fighting penalty. That means a game misconduct, so he's gone. Boutet gets a 5-minute major and a 2-minute minor for unsportsmanlike conduct. All at 16-11. Clark Gillies wants an interpretation from referee Dave Newell. You have to look up to that young man. Almost everybody does.
All set to go now. Drouin with Nystrom and Gillies. There's the shot. That's wide of the net. Comes back to the blue line. Pearson hands it to Mike Pellick, and it's shot out and down the ice. Going back for it is Dennis Potvin. Potvin, number 5. Steering pass up to Gillies. Gillies back to Potvin over the line. Dropped it back, and Jerry Butler knocked it out. And Jimmy Jones and Jerry Butler continue to really kill penalty. Goes to Jones in the corner. Trying to trap it with a skate. Move back! Move back! Still has it. Finally taken away from him, but it's cleared back. Pearson gets it over to Dennis Potvin. Back to Pearson. Pearson in Drouin's shot. Stopped that on the short side. Nice throw to Drouin. Drouin. Back it comes again. Pearson over to Potvin. Left hand, right spot. Comes all the way over to Drouin again. Back out to Pearson. Got a big shot. That's wide. By Gilly. Trying to center. He does. Drouin shot. Stop. Randy Kyla in for Jerry Butler. Butler. Drives it down the edge. Right on. Cleared up to Nystrom at center. Nystrom shot it over the line. Johansson trapped it. Failed to get it out. Goes into the corner. Krzyzewski getting it back. Here's the shot. They score by Bourne. Into the top right-hand corner.
What a shot by Bourne. Just inside that crossbar, the post. The Islanders get their second goal with just over 2 minutes to play. 2:07 on the clock. From the corner to Bourne. Look at that goal just under the crossbar. The Islanders cut the Leaf margin to 3 now with 2:07 on the clock.
New York Islanders goal scored by number 14, Bob Bourne. Assist, number 21, Mike Krzyzewski, and number 23, Bob Nystrom. Time 17:53.
17:53, a minute and 57 seconds. And it's cleared by Trevor Johansson for Lanny McDonald. Kept in by the Islanders. The shot deflects wide of the net. Dan Maloney lost the puck. Here's a chance. Another shot by Krzyzewski, and that's wide. Lanny McDonald and Dan Maloney. Maloney brings it up the center. Got the puck in. Goes behind the Islander goal. Price after it. Price gets the puck up to Harris. Harris center for Krzyzewski again. Over the line. Krzyzewski takes the shot. He missed the net. A rebound to the blue line. Henning had it hit a leg. Came out to Maloney. Maloney over the line. Outside. Sittler. And that means a face-off outside the blue line with 1:14 to go.
Eddie Westfall. Would he ever like to be out there tonight? Played on a Stanley Cup winning team. He's a great star with Boston. They figured he was reaching the end of the trail, but he's had several good years with the Islanders now. And probably as popular a man on Long Island as you could ever find.
Goes back to number 6, Bert Marshall. Marshall with the puck over the blue line. Up at center. Over the line for Henning. Henning pass taken by Lanny McDonald. Back down to the blue line. And the Leafs have a 5-2 lead with 54 seconds remaining in regulation time. Up the ice for Wayne Merrick. A long shot. Palmatier stopped that. Maloney off the board for Darryl Sittler. Sittler coming back down the ice with Turnbull. Turnbull tried to keep it in. Goes out to center ice. Lanny McDonald chopped it over to the far wing. Cleared back to Price. Price backs it over onto the wing there. Long shot. Palmatier stopped that. Ian Turnbull around for Maloney. Just lets it go down the ice. And back for it is Pearson. 16 seconds as the puck comes up at center. Nystrom goes back. Nystrom up at center. Fans getting up on their feet. Knocked into the corner. 5 seconds. Maloney gets it behind the net. Doesn't try to backhand. Ends up straight around the building. And the game is over.
Standing ovation for the Leafs. They started rising with about 30 seconds to play. And quite a din in the Gardens now, even though there are a lot of empty seats. People rush for the exits, figuring the Leafs had this one well in hand. And Palmatier comes under heavy congratulations from all his teammates. He's been a big factor throughout the series. Islanders had 34 shots on goal tonight. There go the Islanders. The north end of the arena. Resch, the starter, gave way to Bill Smith. A disappointed Al Arbor. He'll have to regroup now for Game 7 on Long Island Saturday night.
In just a moment, our 3-star selection. The second star, Lanny McDonald. And the third star, Jack Valakat.
We'll return with Stanley Cup 78 in just a moment. In the first period with 4 goals. Sittler, Valaket, McDonald, and Weir. 2 of those goals on power plays. Pat Boutet made it 5-0 in the second period. The Islanders scored a couple of meaningless goals in the third. Clark Gillies and Bob Bourne. So it is Game 7. The series will be decided on Saturday night at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. Be with us for that one as the Leafs and the Islanders find out which team will advance to the semifinal round. Thank you for joining us tonight as the Leafs win it by a score of 5-2. Good night from Toronto.